So, jumping back in, we're recording now. That's good stuff. Um, oh shit. Let me go here. World. Sorry, I forgot to pull something up real quick.
I have no spell slots. I am not at full health. This is gonna go great.
Yeah, I'm not out of full health either. I'm about to chug one of these health potions as soon as we hear that weird laughing thing happen.
Wait, you don't? I thought you had one because you guys took a short rest on your way from, and you only used the invisibility right when you were at the colorful cauldron inn.
I used hold person.
Oh, that's yeah to restrain Kareem. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mmm. Well, good thing the entire allure of a warlock is Eldritch Blast, and that's a cantrip, I guess.
Yeah. And I did my 1 per day heal of Alec for 3 whole hit points, guys.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
it's gonna be clutch. All right, so, um,
Yeah, that's gonna make all the difference.
alrighty.
Everyone will be dead and she'll have 3 hit points.
So, as we are now jumping back in, you all have had a tumultuous journey thus far in Efera. All of you coming here to seek a new life, something full of wealth or fame or peace, or just trying to find something about yourself, or just trying to get away. And it seems as though all of you have failed and succeeded in that in ways that you could have never imagined when you first arrived here, what was almost 2 weeks ago. You all, after receiving the information you did about Jalissa and the Tarkirian Trading Company and Duncan and all of these other things that are personal, you decide to make your way to New Efera for many reasons. Personal ties and this new tie of trying to bring down Durudin Dupree and discover the lost city of Nibiru, still being an objective on your list. Starting from New Verdalka, you made your way through bandits, the Screaming Weasels. You were able to capture one of them, Sinver, who was just a total bag of shit, and was just real terrible. But now, with him, you eventually make your way, after rescuing another merchant, Thomas, you make your way to the Colorful Cauldron Inn, and thus begins your career as detectives. You decide, at the request of this Mamazia, a kindly old woman, at least initially, you decide to take this up and try and figure out how these murders have been happening and who's been doing them. She gives you a list of 3 suspects. 2 of them you sort of immediately cast off, as they seem not to have any malice or ill intent to them at all. However, one is your prime suspect, a man, Karim Nalio, a Cartesian man who seems to have all of the trademarks of being a vampire. Those golden red eyes, sharper fingernails, and affinity for night and just nighttime, and a sort of hatred and fear of running water. You assume this is your person, but you decide to go investigating a little bit more before you throw down any accusations. Along your journey, you discover these odd butterflies that are huge, maybe 1-2 foot wingspans that sort of coast and glide as opposed to actually flying. Absolutely monstrous creatures, but the ones in the Colorful Cauldron Inn, no matter how gross they might be, are at least pretty to look at. You investigate the slaughterhouse, and inside the slaughterhouse, you find Kareem, and there's a small conflict between Kareem, Alec, and Sayla, but eventually, thanks to Morganix's whole person, you're able to relax him, explain what's going on, and then the 4 of you and Kareem decide to descend down into this hole in the slaughterhouse. And eventually you go, after crawling for maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, and you get to this tree. This large, decaying black tree surrounded by swamp and mud. And you can hear a voice singing, eerily and creaking. Oh, this is going to be so good. I haven't done this much in so long. Just constantly creaking like a broken music box. All of you making your way through the swamp, it seems like you haven't been noticed yet. But you can see the large tree, a small opening, and on the ground in front of it, you can see almost like a U shape of just where the mud and water of this swamp is like this dark brownish burgundy color. And Alec, and all of you, honestly, being very familiar with that scent, you know that's blood. You can see it just sort of coasting along the outside. And it seems like that voice that was singing hasn't picked up on you yet. You can hear that sort of churning of water, that like sludge almost. You can hear the small crackle of a fire. And that constant unease of twigs and vines that seem like they are constantly tightening and loosening. Almost like the nature out here is breathing. So, getting there, looking out and over, you can see into this tree. I'll go ahead and move you to, there we go, right here. So, the 5 of you, or you 4 and Kareem, back over here at the very bottom, you can see this wizened, disgusting looking old woman whose skin is almost looks like almost similar to Alec's skin tone underneath, where it is that like reddish brown color, but then it is just layered on top of mud and like infectious green moss that seems to be consuming most of her face and body. Her arms seem to be burned and sort of contracted towards her body as she has this stick that she's sticking into a pot and sort of twirling around, standing on top of a tree stump with this huge pot in front of her, maybe 4 or 5 feet tall. And you can see dangling from the ceiling is a man who's just, his head is just barely almost touching this boiling water as she is spinning around his body. And after a few turns, you can see his eyes are awake and he has like an apple in his mouth and like almost like a rag tied around it to keep the apple in there, as she just sort of spinning his body and mixing together this pot. I thought I was going to only have 1 tonight, but it looks like I'm going to have 2. I can't wait to bleed you out just like those pigs. I so wish my sisters could see this. But sadly, and at this point, Varnast, she kind of grabs your head and lifts it up a little bit, so you are like nose to nose with her. But people like you, and like that disgusting Kareem, took them away from me. So I take delight in every last bite of people like you. And lets you swing back, and almost like a pendulum, you swing back and forth over this boiling water, not being able to say anything, just gagged with this apple. So, the 4 of you see this happening. What would you like to do?
Well, shit.
Yep. Like literally, just right there in my pants.
From from where Alec is standing, I assume where we are, we're still hidden, right? In this brushy area. Okay.
Yeah, it seems like she's really enveloped with what she's doing right now.
Okay. What
Engrossed.
else is in this area? Like in the spots that she's in? Is there like other any other potential people, creatures, or like
Um,
openings? So just what does the general description of this area look like?
okay, yeah, go ahead and make a perception check real quick. I mean, basically, you can see that there is like the large. Okay. So there is the large tree, right? The large trunk of the tree that seems to be hollowed out. Except each one of these squares right here of wood, they seem to be like pillars almost that sort of go up and then sort of curl around to strengthen the top of it, like you would see for supporting columns in normal buildings. And then you see from where you're standing, you can see two of these green, like they look like sigils and runes on the ground, and they kind of do glow and reverberate on there.
Oh, okay. These things
Yeah,
here.
yeah, those, yeah, these things right here. So you can see, Alec can see these two.
Are these like walls, like around the edge?
Yeah, that's
Are
like the bark of the tree, the exterior of the tree. So the only
So-
opening is right here.
so you cannot see through those. You couldn't jump over them. That's
There's only one way into the tree.
Yeah, there is only one way into the tree.
great. That's lovely.
Is Alex smart enough to know if this is a trap right here, or is it just looks like?
Or is that something Sayla could check?
Yeah, Alec would look over and kind of gesture with her eyes to this green blob that's on the ground.
Funnily enough, Alec, I would actually like you to make an Arcana check with advantage.
Oh. Okay.
Get it, girl. Oh.
We're not off to a good start today.
So, luckily enough, these runes are that of the type of magic that your people channel and create. The patriarchs of your society, they would typically spend their time practicing bow and blade and staff, using martial weapons to hone their craft. But the matriarchs of your society, your grandmother, for instance, they practice the mystical and ancient arts, the studying and melding with nature. And you're not sure exactly what these do, but you do know that they are magical, and you do know that this magic is related to your people. So, probably not trapped, but they are something.
Okay.
I could try blasting one, and then we could all run for it. I mean, it's going to be hard for all of us to sneak in there. I don't know how you guys want to handle this.
Whispering this, Alec would just look at everybody and she would say, "There's only one point of entry. Once she sees us, she sees us. So,
Let me try to get in, because if I can get closer, maybe I can get up on her and maybe pull off some magic."
right. Okay. Alec will just kind of like step aside so you can go forward. Be cautious. I recognize what is on the ground, but I'm not sure exactly what it does.
Okay, so I will avoid. Can Sayla see that?
Yeah, Salek can see the glowing green
Okay,
runes and sigils on the ground.
cool. I will avoid those then. So I'm gonna have. Is it okay if I have her try to sneak to here or here?
Yeah, sure. So, as you get to the entryway, right here,
Okay.
I'm going to move you. Whoa. As you get to right about there, you can, well, we'll say right here. As you begin to traverse through the mud, still maintaining some silence, I'd like you to roll a stealth check real quick.
Oh.
Can I follow her? I don't know if it's too late, but like, I would like to go with her. So, like, her intention is to check out the thing on the ground.
Okay, so real quick, we'll say that you could be maybe like 5 feet behind her. You know, obviously she probably would have wanted you to keep her distance a little bit. So you can move up 1 square.
Okay.
And Sayla, as you get to the blood, I mean, you're definitely not one to be squeamish. That's not who you are. That's never who you've been. And that's not who you are right now, but this blood is old, and there is this grotesque just scent that is just radiating off this blood. And as soon as you make your way through it, you go to cover your mouth, and you can feel your foot catch on something, and you don't know if it's a rock or if it is a vine or if it's a body, but you just kind of trip over it and land on top of those vines. And as soon as you hit the vines right in front of the door, that elderly woman in the back humming, she... Well, looks like you're not the only one I'm eating tonight. And you can see the hobbled old woman move down off of that stump and begin to move closer and closer. And as she moves down and around the pot, Sayla, the two of you make eye contact. And she says, "Oh, I'm so sad. I really thought that all of you would do me a favor, and I thought you'd be good. But I guess I was wrong."
Life kind of sucks like that, doesn't it?
Oh, no. This is good. I get to eat this one. I get to eat you. I get Kareem. I get everything I wanted.
Can I rage and run in and throw a javelin at her?
I just wanted to Eldritch Blast as well.
We don't have time for your speeches, woman.
Oh, that's okay. That is okay. So, Alec, you can go ahead and move up to your movement speed. Morganix, you can go ahead and roll your attack. And then, Alec, you can also roll your attack as well.
Yep.
Is Sayla tangled up in the viney shit?
Not right now. It seems like you're just kind of like, you can feel some of the pincers kind of hitting you, but for the most part, you're able to push yourself up, and you're fine.
Sweet. If they're doing all that, I'm gonna use that distraction to move, can I?
Yeah, sure. I'll say you can go ahead and move half your movement speed since you were kind of caught halfway through your travel, so you can move 15 feet if you wanted to.
That's too right about there, that works.
Yeah, so you can kind of move right
He's
behind
heading
Alec.
towards that. Yeah, heading towards that pillar.
Okay, so two of you make your way in, and Morganix, as you discharge the Eldritch Blast, that purple energy radiates off your hand, and you see it slam into her and hit.
Yeah.
And as that kind of dust settles, it seems like she's not affected by it at all. Good try, darling. Good try. And she begins to move back up towards the pot. And Alec, you throw the javelin at her back, and it slams into her. But the javelin just breaks and shatters against her back. Oh, good one, good one. Please, keep trying. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think my children might be hungry. And as she sticks the staff back into the pot and begins to twirl it around, and she begins to mumble this disgusting, grotesque language, this clang, clang, kai, you can hear that like fluttering of wings as Alec and Selah being inside here, you can see that all along the walls and ceiling are not butterflies. These are moths. And they are angry, just constantly floating and flying around back and forth, just waiting for their mother's command before they can do what they're allowed to. And with that, I would like everybody to roll initiative. But wait, let me get the turn order thing up. Oh no, okay, alright, well, Selah, you can go ahead and keep that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, add turn. So that is a 34.19. Look at you. Look at that. And then let me roll initiative for her real quick in a minute. Oh, she's not a human. Okay, sorry, give me 1 second here. And then let me go ahead and roll initiative for Kareem. Where's he at? There he is. Character sheet. Initiative. There we go. Alrighty, Kareem. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so with that, let me sort this bad boy out. Alrighty, very good. Oh, hey, look at those rolls. That's good stuff. Alrighty, so with that, Selah, you are first up. What would you like to do?
See, they can move 35, right? Or is it 30? I can't remember. I'm fucking losing my mind. 30.
Yeah, your movement speed, I believe, is 30.
Yeah. She can't make it to her to try assassinate. Not that it would work. So that's just kind of out of the question. She's not even gonna try. She's gonna move to right around here and then maybe fire. She's gonna fire off her bow and see if it does anything. It's not going to, but maybe it can make a distraction for the rest of them.
Okay. So yeah, you pull back the arrow and you shoot it as you realize she's not a hard target to miss, or a hard target to hit, but the arrow slams in and just shatters and breaks against her skin. As you can see her just kind of like, as she's touching this pot and moving the staff around inside, she says, "Oh no, you'll have to try harder."
I have plenty more arrows, trust me.
Okay. Alrighty, anything else?
She's gonna leave it at that.
Okay. Alright, so then Cyrus, it is your turn. What are you doing?
I'm gonna blast this rune thing.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, so go ahead and roll for an attack for me. Okay, so with a 14, as you fire the bolt out and it slams into the ground, there's this whoosh, and as it hits, it kind of disappears. And then you see the bolt reappear out of this one right here and just sort of fly up and slam into the one of the moths up at the top of the tree, and that moth kind of crumples down and lands flat, burning and just embers on the ground. So let me go ahead and draw something here real quick, so you know that this one goes here. There you go.
Cool.
Alrighty. So, anything else, Cyrus?
No, I'm pretty cool here.
Okay. Alrighty. Then we have more Ganix. What are you doing?
For starts, I'm gonna run up to say here. And maybe here. I'm gonna try to Eldritch Blast her again, but I'm also bonus action gonna summon the Hexblade.
Okay, so you conjure the Hexblade in one hand and shoot off the Eldritch Blast. Go ahead and roll for an attack against her. Okay. 18, it slams into her, but it seems as though some type of magic, especially as she's this close to the pot, just some shield or something just comes up and blocks the attack. And she just laughs again. Oh, you'll taste so good. Seasoned with what, though? Rosemary thyme? I'm not sure yet. All right, anything else?
No, that's good.
Okay. So then it is Kareem's turn. Kareem is going to, well, I guess move up here. Well, he'll take the dash action and will move up to this tree stump here. However, as he passes through that line of blood, my boy is a vampire after all. So that's going to go ahead and be a Constitution saving throw. Okay. So, Morganix, you start to freak out just a little bit as Kareem, as he begins to wade through the blood, you can see him grit his teeth, and you can see those fangs just begin to grow a little bit more, and you can see him become a little bit more responsive to noise and agitated. But as fast as he was there, as fast as he was going through that, he comes out of the blood and runs out, and you can see his normal posture return to him as he breathes and gets right about there.
Cool.
So yeah, he's good. All right, so that's the end of his turn. Alec, what are you doing?
Okay, I have just enough movement to get to her. Can I just run and try to, like, shoulder tackle her?
Okay, yeah, go ahead and
Because I don't know, Alex next thought is maybe this cauldron is protecting her, so she's just gonna try to rush her.
okay, yeah, go ahead
You know,
and
like try to get into her grapple.
yeah, go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
Okay, I am raging. Do I get advantage on that?
Yes, you would, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
Athletics, you said?
yeah, athletics. So she's gonna make a
Ooh, wow. What? That's trash.
she's gonna make a contested athletics
Oh,
check.
wow. Okay.
Okay, so that is a 9 as well, funny enough. So, you go to tackle her, and it seems like she just grabs, like, one of these, like, deformed, like, claw crab hands. Not like an actual crab, but, like, kind of a human hand in the shape of a crab, where, like, it seems like 2 of her fingers have kind of been melted together, and she just kind of puts one of the hands on your head as the two of you are just kind of, like, locked together. You're not able to move her, but she's not able to move you, as she's just still one hand on the stick that is in the pot, kind of trying to push back against you. So, with that, is there anything else you want to do?
I don't think I can do anything else at this
Okay.
point.
Okay. So, then it comes to her turn. So she, sort of hand on your head, is going to... let us see here. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So, at the end of your turn, Alec, just because I forgot to do it on the 20, she's going to use a lair action. And on... Since I messed up earlier, we'll just use it now. So she's going to put... make a command. She's going to kind of shout out something. And as she shouts out these disgusting words, you can see 3 of the moths begin to descend down. And Sayla, 2 of them land on you. And 1 of them lands on Kareem. Oh, wait a second, but I can't do that to him. That's lame. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. So 1 of them lands on Kareem. So as the 2 of them land on you, just sort of like flapping their wings into your face, you can feel that, not necessarily paralyzed in fear, but they're just obstructing your view. They are flapping you in the face. They're just kind of restricting your movement. And you can feel for each one of these creatures on you, your movement speed is reduced by 10. So that means your movement speed is reduced by 20 total, and you can feel these little legs are almost like small pincers, as you can feel them trying to like pierce through your like leather armor and your cloth, and you can feel them starting to make their way through there. And then, so now for her action, she is going to, seeing the entire area sort of like on the ground, and Morganix, you can see all the vines in front of you, and Alec, you can see all the vines around you. She's going to say, I need you to get away from me. And she is going to cast Thorn Whip on you, Alec. That is a 19 to hit. And
Yep.
that is, let's see, 5 points of piercing damage reduced to 2. And you are pushed back, or you're pulled back by one of the vines 10 feet. You're pulled back to here. So you were right up on her. She was kind of pushing you off, and you feel the vine wrap around your stomach and pull you back. And that is the end of her turn. And she kind of returns back to the pot and says, I think all of you should just leave if you know what's good for you.
Is this guy like cooking right now? Or is he like okay where he's at?
No, he is slowly, like he's getting slow roasted. So
Oh fuck, okay.
Nice of you to ask.
I was wondering.
with that,
Oh shit.
Varnast, apple in your mouth, sort of gagged
Yeah.
right now, hanging suspended from the ceiling. What do you want to do?
All right. Are my hands bound?
Your hands are not bound.
Okay. So seeing the chaos that is going on, now that I have an opportunity to myself, I'm going to try and reach up and rip the gag and apple off.
Okay, easy enough.
Through
You
raw power.
can rip it off. You're there. You can actually see that your weapons are sitting right over here.
Okay. Then, I mean, I would immediately start like, because I'm like above this thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then, I mean, I can't just cut the rope because, you know, straight down.
It's
Yeah.
the worst that could happen is you'd take a bubble bath in a jacuzzi. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's ugh. Oh man. I gotta get to my stuff, or I can't help. Yeah, I'd probably just try like swinging while fiddling with what's bound to my legs because I don't want to drop straight down. So I want to like fiddle with it when I'm like at an angle when I'm swinging, if possible.
Yeah, okay. I would like you to make an athletics or acrobatics check. Either
It's
one.
definitely athletics.
Okay.
There it.
Okay. All right. So
Woo!
you're able to, using your core strength, you're able to bend forward and then backwards, and you can feel as she's so focused on Alec pulling her away and trying to continue to churn this sludge and water. You actually kind of like hit her in the head as you're swinging back and then swinging forward, and as you do, you go to pull at the rope that's at your feet, and you are loosened, and you do fall right here. However, you do actually fall about 10 feet. So you do take... Holy shit, 10 points of bludgeoning damage as you kind of land on the back of your neck and your head, but you're free, and you're... Holy shit, it hurts. Your neck hurts really bad right now. But you feel like you're fine for the most part. You're able to stand up, and we'll say that's your action, but you should have enough movement to get to your stuff if you'd like.
Yes, I will head over there and grab my stuff.
Okay, so yeah, you're able to sling it back on. You're free. You can see as you like hit her in the head and then fall down in front of her, you can see her just sort of churning this pot, and she, no! And she continues to angrily churn this pot. Okay, that is the end of your turn.
Yep.
We come back to Sayla.
Okay, so with him down, because her next thing was going to be to shoot whatever was holding him, if it was a rope or something,
Oh,
see if
God.
she could break it. I mean,
Right above that pot.
no, he was swinging.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't gonna like send him into the pot. She was gonna wait till he was at like swinging. Would have been a fun time.
Yeah.
So we seen that this goes to here.
Yes.
She's gonna shoot an arrow at this one and see what that does.
Okay. Alrighty. So as you shoot an arrow at that one, go ahead and roll for an attack for me,
Alrighty.
because it does require a little bit of accuracy.
Ugh.
Okay. So you shoot the arrow and it sort of slams next to it and it doesn't actually make contact with the portal. It just kind of skitters next to it and then hits the side of the wall, not able to actually fall into the circle.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Let's remove that arrow. Is Alex somewhat in trouble, correct?
Yeah, she's like face to face, and she did take a little bit of damage from that vine pulling her.
Can I go and use my dagger to try and cut the vines?
The vines aren't on her anymore. They kind of like
Oh.
pulled her back and then released.
Okay. Never
Right now,
mind,
you
she's
do
not-
have two of those moths on you right now, so your movement speed is only 10.
Oh, that's right. Strike that. Can I use the dagger to try and kill one of the moths?
Yeah, we'll say with your bonus action, you can stab one of the moths and sort of flick it off. So now your movement speed is 20.
Sweet. I'm gonna stay where I am and... Actually, no. I'm 20.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna try and get closer to that one so that she gets a chance. She's gonna shoot at it again. There's a puzzle here. There's gotta be a reason.
Okay, alrighty. So sorry, I forgot to say this, at the beginning of your turn, as both of those moths are on you, you can feel those tiny little pincer legs eventually break through the leather, and you take 4 points of piercing damage, 2 from each of them, as they pierce in, and we'll say at that moment you sort of reflex, stab one with the dagger, flick it off, and you now only have one moth on you.
Sweet.
Alrighty, so end of Sayla's turn. Now we do the lair action. So she is going to chant out a few more ancient words and is going to send 2 on Alec to reduce her movement speed to 10, and then 1 on Farnast to reduce his movement speed to 20.
Jerk.
Okay, so that is the lair action, which then brings us to Cyrus.
I'm gonna move up at least to here. Do I see any like of these fucking moths fluttering in the air?
Oh, there's tons of them. Tons.
Oh, I'm just gonna shoot indiscriminate fire at them. And I know what you're thinking. Dead tree, fire, good combination. I agree. So I'm just gonna start shooting fire indiscriminately up at these moths.
Okay, alright, so you just go ahead and shoot firebolt, and you do hit. Eventually, you start to aim, so you try and hit 2 or 3 at the same time, and they
Wow.
burn. And luckily, you still hit a few. It doesn't take a lot. But you can see, it seems like no matter how many you shoot after firing a couple of fireballs, or firebolts, there's just more moths that appear, where it's almost like the real bark of this tree is never exposed. Where there's just always more moth that just sort of appear and cover up anywhere where there might be bark to let in moonlight or sunlight or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. So anything else?
No, I'm just chilling here.
Okay. Then that brings us to Morganax. What are you doing?
I'm Eldritch blasting the cauldron.
Okay.
Trying to aim up towards the top, maybe hoping it'll push in her direction.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll for an attack for me.
Bitch.
Okay, so the pot is not hard to hit. It's large, and as you charge off the Eldritch Blast, you shoot it, and it does make contact with the pot. I'd like you to roll for damage.
I have agonizing blast as well.
Okay. So that's 9 points of damage. Okay. Oh, 9 points of force damage, specifically. Okay. Whoa. That's not right. 2 minus Okay. So as you slam into the pot, it does. You see a crack as the bolt. You can see this large crack begin to form up along the center and sort of sprout out in a couple different directions. And there's no liquid leaking from it yet. You can see some of that hot sludge and water begin to shake and move up and out a little bit. And this as the water is constantly moving in and out of it. And you see her sort of look at you and, oh, you will regret that. As you have begun to do some damage to the pot now.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
Alrighty. So then we have Kareem. So he is going to. He's going to go ahead and move up and. Yeah, he's going to move up to the pot. And he is going to try his best, sort of following your lead, Morganix. He's going to try and take 2 claw swipes at this pot. Oh, alright.
Could Morganix have screamed to tip it over?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I will say after you fired the blast, you'll say, no, tip it over instead. So he will take your advice there, and he'll go ahead and make pull up to it and try and grab one of those handles and move it over.
Really sorry.
No, that's okay. That is okay. That is okay. So we got Kareem. That is a strength check. 16. Okay. You see, as he's like pulling at it, he is trying to like bring it off of the ground, but you can see all of these different vines and sticks and mud that are just sort of adhered to the bottom of it, and eventually he kind of like breaks off the handle, but dealing some damage to the pot. However, it seems like it is not, he's not able to really pull it and try and tip it over, at least with just him. It maybe have budged a little bit, but yeah, it seems like it's so embedded in this area. It seems like it's been here for a really long time. So he did do a little bit of damage by breaking off the handle. Alrighty, so with that, that's the end of Kareem's turn. Alec, it is your turn. Your movement speed is 10. Well,
Okay, no problem.
it's reduced by 20. I think you might
okay.
have unarmored movement, though.
Yeah, that's okay. So hearing Morganix and seeing Kareem do this, Alec would just like to use what movement she does have and kind of like using a running start, just making an L shape. She wants to, I guess, shoulder check the pot. Like, I know it's boiling, but I don't care. She just wants to, like, football player rush into this pot to tip it into her.
Okay.
Into this woman. Yeah. Oh.
Okay. That's okay.
Wow.
Go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
Yeah.
With advantage, because you are raging.
What is this game? Fuck these dice today. This is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit.
You slam your shoulder, and you do end up slamming it right into where Morganix had, like, one of the cracks had made, and there is this small fissure of hot water that sort of splashes on onto your face, and you take 4 points of fire damage from this, like, scalding hot water that slams into your
Does
into your
any
face.
get onto her, considering the direction I was pushing the water?
No, it seems as though most of it was just kind of sloshing inside,
Fucker.
and then you just slammed your shoulder into it, and it just, that small crack that Morganix made just sort of let out a little to spray onto you. Okay, so then Alec, anything else?
Nope. I don't think I can do anything else. I assume that would be my action, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can't do anything else. But that's okay.
Okay, then we have, at the end of your turn, then we have the green hag, who is going to oh, excuse me. Okay. She is going to... Oh my god. Let's see, what's this? Okay. So... Morganix, you, as you sort of finish casting the Eldritch Blast, you see Alex slam into it, and a little bit of that hot liquid slam into her face, and you kind of reel a little bit, and as you go to look back up, you see this bolt of green energy charging at you.
Oh, good.
That is a 19 to hit,
Oh, yeah.
and then I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ew.
Ooh.
Oh, God. My artificer is going to be so cool.
Okay, so sadly, you do fail the saving throw, so you take 10 points of poison damage.
Oh.
So, slams into you, you can feel that same sickly green color that is covering all of this woman's skin begin to creep up along your neck and shoulder as you begin to sort of look and freak out a little bit. But then, after that, she's going to continue to stirring the pot. All right.
Oh, she's stirring, all right.
So then, Varnast, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
All right, so I assume I've made the same conclusion of everyone else that this pot is very important to her and probably offering some sort of magical protection.
Probably, yeah. That's
All right, I don't know if it's going to work, but even if it fails, it's going to be cool, so we're going to go for it. All right, so seeing her and seeing the position of everyone else, and once I've gotten my gear back equipped, I'm going to quickly utter this incantation / prayer to myself, and I'm going to cast a level 2 shatter kind of on top of her and on the pot, but I'm gonna like aim it to where these two don't get hit because it's like a radius sphere, so I'm gonna aim it more over here.
Okay.
I'll throw up the info real quick, hang on.
Yeah. Shadow. Thunder damage, nice.
I'm also going to use my Destructive Wrath channel ability to where I don't need to roll the damage dice, it just gets maximized automatically.
Oh shit!
And on top of that, a non-magical object that isn't being worn or carried also takes the damage if it's in the spell's area. Hopefully the cauldron's just a cauldron holding magical things, I'm not sure, but I'm trying to make it shatter on top of her and hit her with the damage as well.
Okay. So that's 3d8.
So 24 damage.
24 damage?
Well, that's if they pass.
Okay.
I mean, if
they
they
fail. Yeah, so that's Constitution. So the funniest, so as you hit her, as it shatters and that large booming thunder sort of fills that entire area, Kareem and Alec sort of cover their ears from the sound. It doesn't affect them, it doesn't hurt them at all, but it's so intense and loud. However, it doesn't affect her at all, but the cauldron, you said, what was that, 24, right?
24 damage.
Holy shit. So you can see the cauldron seems to be especially affected by especially affected by thunder and force, these explosive energies that are meant to break things. And as that shatter cracks and some of the cauldron begins to crack, and almost the entire cauldron is now cracked all around it, and there's like little fissures that sort of spray out water every which way, just from this insane amount of damage that was delivered to this cauldron. And she looks to you, oh, no, and she now will take this villain reaction,
Oh no.
reaching her second face. So she will go ahead and shoot off that same bolt of energy that she shot at Morganix at you. So 19 hits, right?
Yes, a 19 hits.
Okay, and then that is. Oh wow, that's sucky. Okay, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
All right. I hope that passes.
Okay, that is a success. So luckily, you only take 6 points of poison damage.
Okay. Ow, still.
Yeah. And so she casts that at you and sort of, no, it's not how this is supposed to happen. No. And that. Anything else for your turn?
Is it an action to swipe the moth off?
It is half of your movement, so you kind of like stop, drop, and roll, and they fly off.
Okay, then I'll do that, and I'll move. So I still have 15 feet. 5, 10. I'll move right here,
Okay.
and that will be it.
Right next to the pot.
Yeah, I got a plan.
Alrighty. So sorry, you do take those 2 points of piercing damage from the moths at the beginning of your turn.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, sorry, it's at the beginning of your turn, and then you do stop, drop, and roll, get rid of it, and the moth does go away. As you kind of like crush it under your heavy armor and shield and sword.
Right.
And with that, Sayla, it is your turn. You take 2 points of piercing damage right off the bat from the moth that is still on you.
Right. I am going to take care of that little bastard real fucking quick. Can I use my bonus action to destroy him?
Yeah, just stab him, flop him on the ground.
Sweet. Alright. Do I still have full motion because I did that first or no?
Yes, you do.
Cool. So, seeing that Morganix is literally, like, dying, she is gonna go back and she's gonna give her potion just so she can get that over with now.
Aww.
Hey, don't take this as anything nice. You're just not allowed to die until I fucking kill you in your sleep.
Fair.
Okay. All right. So you hand the health potion back to her. Anything else on your turn?
She can't do anything else. That was all of her actions and movement. So
Okay.
I guess I'm gonna end it there.
Alrighty. So with that, it is now time for the lair action. So for her first lair action, she will call out 3 more of those moths. So she will put 2 on Sayla, and then 1 on Morganix. As they sort of fly out of the tree and sort of land on top of you, and Morganix, you can feel them sort of digging into your skin, like right around where some of your more looser cloth is, getting ready to, these like tiny little legs getting ready to pierce down through the skin. And then, now in this second phase, she will go ahead and so for Alec and Sayla, I'd like both of you to make either a strength or dexterity saving throw. Your choice. As you look down, you can see, as she begins to chant more of these moths lie down near you and on top of you. Oh, wow. Okay, awesome. And you can see underneath you, these vines begin to wrap, or these thorny vines begin to wrap around your legs and up your thighs. But Alec, you just sort of grab them barehanded and rip them off. Sayla, you just sort of dance around them, and they eventually go limp and fall back down to the ground, unable to grab either one of you. Okay. So that is the end of the lair action, and now Cyrus, it is your turn.
I'm gonna try and attack her now.
Okay.
I'm not going to risk these rolls. I'm just going to throw 3 magic missile bolts at her.
Okay.
Bad.
Oh, man, that's rough, buddy. So as you throw one at her, it slams into her, and still, it seems as though there's some energy left in this cauldron because it's not completely shattered yet, that she just sort of absorbs the blow and continues to stir this leaking liquid out of this cauldron. So, still having the other two, control of the other two, where do you want to send them?
At the pot then, for sure.
Okay, so that is 5, 10 points of damage. Okay, 10. Okay, so slams into the pot and more break off. This time more around the top of it break off. The liquid is beginning to slosh out, more chaotic and more aggressive. But still nothing. She still seems like there is some protective coating around her. And she's still some type of protected right now. Okay. So, Cyrus, anything else?
I'm gonna take a step back. Here.
Okay. Alrighty, very good.
That's it.
Alrighty, Morganics, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Bonus action chug that potion.
Gotcha. Alright, roll your 44 plus 4. I think it was the one Kareem gave you guys.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll add that in a second. And then I'm going to, kind of lean around Sayla and Eldritch Blast again, but I'm aiming for, like, the vines at the bottom that seem to be, like, strengthening it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack. Nice. Okay. All right. Roll your damage. Oh, wait a second. That is
+4.
woo, 14 points. Okay. So with that, as you slam into the bottom of the pot, you can see it begin to crack, and the vines begin to retract a little bit, almost like scared mice from a loud noise. They just begin to skirt away the mud, and gunk begins to crack and break, and the pot just begins to lean forward, and she tries to grab it and hold on and pull it back, but she's just not strong enough as the pot reels forward and slams and cracks into the ground, spilling this boiling hot water as Kareem, Varnast, and Alec, I'd like you to make a dexterity saving throw. Why did I say Kareem like somebody was playing him? Right.
Sorry, guys.
Woohoo! Okay.
Matrix.
Well, Vampire Daddy can take it.
Yeah, and then... Okay, so he was the only one that failed. So, Alec and Varnast, you take 7 points of fire damage from the boiling hot water, and he takes 14. As the water spills out and coats some of your feet on Kareem, it sort of hits him a little bit more across the face, singeing him just a little bit. And he grunts in pain. The other two of you, you're able to move around a little bit more. So the pot comes crashing down. You can see her just her eyes grow wide with fear and anger.
Can I use my movement to stop, drop, roll, get this moth off me?
Yes, you can, yeah.
Awesome.
So,
I've done everything I can do.
So, sorry, at the beginning of your turn, you do take those 2 points of damage from the moth. However, that would have put you at 2, and then you'd be back up to full. Back up to...
I have
14.
more HP than I started this fight with. We're good.
Awesome. Okay. So then it is Kareem. However, at the end of your turn, now the pot being broken, she looks to Kareem, and still like a little bit of energy being able to channel out of this pot a little bit. She says, "You pay for what you and your people did." And taking the stick and sort of slamming it into the ground, you see this light begin to emanate from the top of the staff, and just blindingly bright. in sort of a 5-10 foot sphere envelop this entire tree, and you can see all of the moths. They just kind of float down and out, fluttering past Sayla and Morganix and Cyrus, just flying past you. Alec and Kareem, the moths that are on you, fly away from the bright light, and eventually, as it settles, let me check here. Using her last coven. Oh, shoot, wrong one. Cool. There we go. Okay, so from that, Kareem does take 60 points of damage. Yes. From the bright sunlight that hits him in the face, being a vampire, definitely not his thing, slams and begins to like boil his skin, and just kind of he screams and falls down in pain, and he's currently like just kind of like rubbing his eyes, incapacitated. That was at the end of your turn, Morganix. As it comes to his turn, he is just completely incapacitated, blinking his eyes, sort of swiping up at the air, just blinded. Still alive, not by much though. So then, Alec, it is your turn.
Okay, so where is she right now? Is she just on the ground, covered in this boiling water, or does she not really care about the water?
She doesn't really care about the water. Her staff was the one thing that hit it, but right now she's standing on top of this green circle on this stump, very similar to the ones that you see there already.
Okay, I would just like to run up to her with my sword and try to cut her down.
Okay, so as you run up to her and you go to make your attack, she uses her reaction and just sort of disappears.
God,
right
she
here,
sucks.
and she reappears right here.
Okay, so since I attempted to attack her, do I not get an action then? Or like, did I like swing and then she whooped before I got there?
Yeah, as you were going through with your swing and just sort of cut through air if she was already gone.
Okay, can I just with my sword? This sounds kind of stupid, but could I like go through the portal with just my sword pointed upwards and I just bamp underneath her and pierce her? Like, does that work like that?
That would technically be considered an attack. I mean, you could move your movement through the portal, and sort of appear like next to her, on top of her. Or you could try, yeah.
I don't know what to do. There's no point in that if I can't attack. So I guess I will just... Alec is infuriated right now because for some reason she just can't get her hands on this thing and she's pissed. So she's just gonna be a very grumpy, angry animal and just stay right here. So let's see, wait, actually, I moved only like 5 feet to get to her, so I guess she'll just use the rest of her movement to just kind of jump over the portal and try to get to, like, here.
Okay.
Actually, I lied. Oh, fuck, no, I can't because I wasted my action trying to attack her. Fuck. Just kidding. I'm gonna stay right here for now.
Okay, alright, so you hang out right there. Okay. So that is the end of your turn, and that brings us to her turn. So she is going to... Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, my dog. That's a very good point. I forgot all about him.
Oh, yes. Oh, shoot. I forgot about him, too. Dang, I
Thank
need
you,
to get
Sarah.
a token for him. Okay, we'll say that for the moment, because
It's
you
okay, yeah.
know exactly what was happening, he was outside. If you want him to do anything right now, you can have him do that.
He probably can't move very far. I think his movement is like 30. Let me double check.
His movement is 40 feet.
Okay. Um. Okay, well, we'll just get him into the area. So, Alec just being. I feel like at this point, her frustration would leave her to, like, howling just to call her dog in here. So,
Okay.
he just hears her howl and bounces his way in here. And that's it.
Okay, so he runs in. He sees the hag, and he just, as his ears are like totally contracted back into his head, just ready to pounce any chance he has. So with that, it is the hag's turn, and she is going to, you know what? She is going to Thorn Whip, Thorn Whip Cyrus. So, Cyrus, as you were sort of standing out, trying to be as close to the tree line as you can, just sort of wading in this bloody, mucky water, you are looking around, sort of looking at the forest, make sure nothing is coming from behind you, and then as you sort of place your hand on one of the tree barks, you can feel a fluttering and you sort of retract your hand away, as you can see two of those moth eyes just staring up at you. And then in that moment, there is a thorny whip that wraps around your waist and begins to pull you. Here. Pulls you closer towards the entrance, closer towards that green portal. So, that's a... Well, actually, does a 15 hit?
Yes.
Okay, alright. And then that is... Holy shit. 12 points of piercing damage.
Oh, good lord. Okay.
As it wraps around your stomach and pulls you. And... you can just barely see her from around the pillar. And she says, I just want you to know, you were the one I was looking forward to munching on the most. Maybe one day, my pretty. Maybe one day. And that'll be the end of her turn. So with that, Varnast, it is your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna cast a good old level 2 Cure Wounds on myself. Right,
Woo!
well, that helps a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Sorry, let me just add that back real quick. Then I will move up on top of her, just kind of threateningly, because I can't take an action.
Okay, so you get there. And...
That will
Alrighty.
be it.
Okay. So then, Selah, it is your turn. What would you like to do? Cyrus standing next to you, you can see he just got ripped and pulled and is currently, like, bleeding profusely from his arms and stomach.
Well, I literally just gave my potion to Morganix, so I can't help him.
Sorry.
Have we not established that she can take damage yet, have we?
No. However, she has been freely moving away from the pot, though.
Okay. I have a moth on me, so I can only do like 20 feet, right?
No, after the blinding light...
Oh, that's gone. Okay.
Yeah, it flew away.
I
Yep.
missed that part. Okay. So, can I... No, she's a little too far. Kinda. Is that close enough that I'd be able to attack her?
It just depends with what. The bow, the dagger?
The sword?
Oh, the sword? Oh, yes, yeah, sure. I'd say yeah. You would have enough movement speed to get up there.
Okay. So I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna just try to hit her.
Okay.
Follow Alex.
As you go to take a swing, using her reaction, because her turn has passed, she is going to bamf over here.
Aha! Thought that's where she was gonna go. Okay. Cool. Selah can't really do anything else, but now we know, like, roughly how these portals work.
Alrighty. So, that's the end of Sailor's turn, and now, Cyrus, it is your turn.
I am going to. I'm going to throw a chromatic orb directly into this fucking portal in front of me.
Okay. Alright. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Where are we?
Okay. Yep, that is right there. Go ahead and roll the damage.
That's going to be a fire chromatic orb.
Alright. 11 points of damage, and then I would like you to roll a D100 for me. Unless you've been drinking.
I feel like I would have been probably panicking this whole time, and I wouldn't have been drinking. I'd have been like, fuck this place. So,
Okay.
nope.
He was drinking a lot before we came in here, though. Like, I remember you saying it. I thought, never mind, ignore me.
I'll be honest, I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember you were drinking a lot, but it's just up to you. If you feel like
I feel like I'd have probably been freaking the fuck out, and I wouldn't have been drinking here.
Yeah, I would have maybe sobered you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
The slaughterhouse, especially.
So that was a 10. Okay. There's... Okay. So as you channel the chromatic orb out, there's this beam of fire slams through the portal, slams up at her, and you can just see her engulfed in flame and fire in classic Cyrus style, just immolated. Now, without the protective magics of her cauldron, this relic of her and her sisters, you can see that it's making contact, and it just burns and immolates. And you can see, after the cauldron has been damaged and destroyed, you can see how much of a weak old woman she was. As you look up and you see where she once was standing, she's just fallen over. A black husk of burnt and boiled skin, as she is now dead. Crisp, boiled on the ground from Cyrus's fire. And Cyrus, as soon as you cast the spell and you recover, you can see all around you in about a 15-foot radius that there are these just white lilies that just sprout all around you and cover the entire area in these beautiful, beautiful flowers.
Oh, shit.
Alec, still raging, I would like for her to go over and just start cutting and stomping on this woman.
Okay, yeah, and you do, and it's crunchy. It's almost like burnt jerky, where it's just tenderized, chewy, like stringy meat that is burnt, and you just break it and cut into it, and it just until eventually it's like a finely grated ash that you would find at the bottom of a fire pit.
Wonderful. And then she will spit on her, and she will say, "You are not of the blood," and just kick the fucking spit in the dirt, just rubbing it in.
All right. So eventually, at about that point, your rage wears off, and you are still very angry and upset, but you calm yourself down just a little bit.
Morgonix is tentatively going to make her way in there.
Okay. And you can see as soon as she's been dead for a moment, a lot of the vines that were in here begin to slowly retract away like snakes and worms just slowly moving along the ground away from where all of you are, back into the forest and in the jungle. And underneath all of these vines, there are just bodies after body after body. Some of them, it's hard to even tell how old they are, or where they might have come from, because they are just husks of a form.
What are the moths doing?
They've left. After the sunlight, they just flew out, and they're now hanging around outside the, on the trees outside. No longer are there any inside this tree in particular.
Is everyone okay?
Better than some of you.
Oh, fuck this place. No,
Who's injured?
Oh, fucking hell. I'm just gonna start downing every bit of booze I've got on me. Like, I'm getting fucking rat on.
Alec is still standing by this dead woman, and she's just breathing heavily, just staring at her.
Morgonix is just gonna kind of pat Cyrus on the shoulder.
Oh, you fucking bitch. I fucking burned her. Fuck this. And I'm just heavily downing everything I've got.
Looking around at everyone, who looks the most injured?
Vampire Daddy.
Vampire Daddy and Cyrus.
Do I recognize Vampire Daddy as a vampire?
You were able to recognize it during the fight. There were some really savage moments during it. However, Varnest, as you get a moment just to take everything in, you recognize these four faces, and it hadn't clicked this entire fight, being so in the zone and in the moment, but
Adrenaline.
yeah, these four you recognize. You don't recognize him, but those four you do.
Varnast will walk over to Cirrus and will cast his last level 2 Cure Wounds on him. Oh, whoops. Forgot no.
Hey, Joe, these flowers, did they sprout in the ground or did they just fall?
No, they sprouted from the ground. They sort of broke through stone that was laid here, and even around the mud behind you, they've just sort of sprouted out and all around you.
Can I take one of them?
Yeah, you pluck it. You've got a nice, pretty white lily.
Is Alec injured at all?
Alec is good. She's fine. She got hit, but she's not hurting. I think right now, mentally, she's just not here. And like hearing Sayla say what she did, Alec is just gonna look at her, and she just has this very cold expression on her face, and she just says, "This is why people fear us. This is why we have such a bad name. This is not who we are. But people like her, this is not the right way. And this is why we have to leave our homes, and I don't understand."
Do I, like, from reading, know anything about what she was? Like, was she ever even native, or was she just posing as one?
Um, because you had rolled earlier, and I remember you had rolled pretty high on your history check.
And I am proficient in history.
Yeah.
And
So
learning.
you would have either when you were organizing books or scribing, which you would alternate between the two at the library. Um, there is certain information you remember about hags. Sometimes they are entities that are born and raised in the Fae, and then they come to the material plane to wreak havoc or satiate a hunger they have. But sometimes women who are who do have an intense connection with the Fae, they can be corrupted in a sense due to a great lust for power, great envy and anger, wrath, things like that. It can cause somebody who maybe otherwise would have just been a normal person to adopt some of those qualities that are known in hags and sort of become infected almost like a, a disease almost.
Alec, it's possible she was never one of your people. There's no. I don't know if there's any way of knowing.
You see the symbols on the ground. This creature was one of my people. But she is dead now, so it is time we move from this place. And Alex is just gonna walk away. As she does, she's gonna look at this new guy that she's not seen before. She's just kind of confused, kind of recalling now the fact that he was once, dangling into a fire pit, being cooked. And you are?
Oh, yes. Sorry, the excitement got to me. Varnast Halmaru.
She just kind of blinks.
Varnast will be fine.
Alex Silverfoot of Logan Silverfoot. If you wish to stay in this place, you can. But me and my friends are leaving now. And she's very short. She's just gonna try to start heading towards the exit because she does not want to be here anymore.
Is there anything to loot in here?
Make an investigation check.
Shit.
Okay. So most of the bodies have been stripped of any possessions or in most cases even clothing and shoes, where they are just these dried out husks of skin, not even discernible what type of race or species or
Yeah, I'll give those a
anything like
wide
that.
berth.
Yeah, and that's most of the corpses in here. However, at the very back of the area where that tree and vine growth was overgrown, you find a collection of items. They are almost what look like small trinkets and small possessions that might have some sentimental value to somebody. Hairpins and bracelets and jewelry are kind of buried underneath that mound of dirt and spiky vines. And a lot of it looks very similar to what Alec wears. It looks older, rusted, overgrown with moss and mold, but they are trinkets from a long time ago for and made by Alec's people.
Morganix is going to feel very torn about whether or not she should take them or whether Alec would want them, but for now she'll place them in her bag just in case.
Okay. So you kind of quietly stuff them inside, and that's really... you're not even sure if they hold any, like, material value currently. They just might hold some sentimental value to somebody, and quite possibly probably the woman who was here. So collecting those items. What do you guys want to do? Alec, as you are making your way out, your Dogglin does kind of trot up to you and sort of nudge his head into your leg and sort of and just sort of like moans at you.
She will. She's just been on edge this entire time, so for a moment she'll just kind of let that down and just give him a good pat on the head.
Okay. Ready. So he nestles his head into your hand and sort of like gives it like a small, like a little love bite, just a little, and just sort of nuzzles his head closer towards your neck, almost giving you as close as a dog can do to a hug. And he just sort of rests his head on your shoulder and then comes off and then just sits on his haunches looking up at you.
As she's like over here with him, she realizes she was very kind of, short with this new person that has just arrived. Does she recognize him from anywhere? He seemed very comfortable with all of us, so she wasn't sure.
Yeah. I'd like you to make an intelligence check, just real quick.
That's not her strong suit.
Actually, wait. Sorry.
Oh no, I didn't say that. Like I can do that.
No.
It's crying in the box.
The thing that you notice immediately, is that there is a symbol on this sort of like, smock or like tabard that he has on, that is colored. At least on the front side, you can see right now that at the very bottom of it, has the symbol of the old one that your people cherished, Itacia, the primordial entity of water.
That symbol was on him?
Yeah,
Or is on him? No.
It's on his tunic.
Okay.
And then Varnest, if you want to go ahead and describe what you look like aside from that.
Yeah, so you see an older man, not old by any means, but he's getting up there. Looks like early 40s, maybe late 30s. Has like a few gray hairs starting to show, but not too much. He's got this pretty short black hair on top. It kind of comes down a little bit in the back. He's got like a mustache, like the beginnings of a beard, more like a goatee, but it's grown a little bit longer past a goatee. Looks a lot like Mads Mikkelsen face-wise, if anyone's knows actors. He's wearing chainmail. He's got this aqua-colored tabard on front with the mentioned symbol. And he's got this like shoulder cape that's like deep blue on the back that he wears. And he's got this nice kind of kite shield that you can see in the picture. And his weapon is this curved blade that looks like it's weighted towards the top, so it looks like it's really made for just like kind of cutting and chopping. And around his neck, he's got this like what looks like this like torn kind of just like black and white piece of cloth that's just like wrapped around his neck, and that's what Varnast looks like.
Okay. So, taking a moment to like take him in and look at him, Morganix and Selah, as you two are having this conversation next to each other.
Quietly.
Yeah, of course. Varnest, you can feel that man who you recognized as a vampire, his eyes and face kind of almost like a little bubbly and scarred almost. He sort of reaches a hand up for your shoulder and kind of pushes up, and he says, "I'm sorry, I do not know who you are, but is there any way you could bring me to the rest of them?"
Of course.
And
I'll, kind of wrap an arm around him and help him walk.
And he's kind of, his eyes are like completely like swollen shut. as he just sort of like slowly is moving along towards the other four of you. And Kareem, he says, I want to thank all of you for doing this. I know that this was not exactly, I think, what any of us had in mind, but I do not need to look through the bodies to know that my son is dead. It is good enough for me to know that revenge has been properly served. If you all could return me to town, to the inn, I will take a few days to rest, and I will be better. But I just wanted to thank all of you for what you've done.
Morgonix will go and get on the other side of him and sort of help put an arm around his waist, kind of help Varnest guide him, and she'll say, I'm sorry. And then she'll look over at Varnest and say, I think we should all head back to the inn, and then maybe we can exchange stories.
Yes, we have much to discuss.
Okay. So, on that note, all of you begin to move out of the interior of this tree, and you move back. Following the same direction that you went through the hole, not going through that hole again, you make your way through the swamp a little bit more, and eventually you do make your way back to the Colorful Cauldron Inn, to the grounds. And you can see that where most of those butterflies were in that garden, I mean, they're so large that you can really see them anywhere, but on the trees near you and in the butterfly garden getting into the grounds of the inn, they are no longer there. You can see maybe one or two that are floating around, but not in the garden, but not the intense 20, 30 that were there earlier this evening. As you enter town, the one woman that you had talked to earlier, Ji Feng, you can see her walking about this late at night with a smile on her face. And seeing all of you walk in, she gives you a nod and continues walking on her way. You can see her walking towards the exit and leaving the Colorful Cauldron Inn. She exits, all of the rest of you make your way in, and there is this odd energy where you can hear people laughing and drinking, having a good time here. People near the campgrounds joking and roasting food over a fire. As all of you returned muddy and bloody, battered, and not feeling the greatest, you make your way into the tavern portion of the Colorful Cauldron Inn. You make your way upstairs, and as you do, you can hear giggling and laughing, and as you open the door, you can see Sinver is still tied up to the bedpost all the way on the other end of the wall, or on the bedpost on the other end of the room. However, you see at a table, you see Thomas and Fro. Thomas has this like deck of cards almost that he's trying to he's trying to explain how they work to Fro, and he's like,
Oh.
no, what you need to do is you see Fro is you need to make sure you play these cards first, you see, because this is your resources for the game, and then when you're able to use those resources to build buildings and summon heroes, it's very interesting. And you can see Fro is like holding these cards and looking up at him, sort of nodding, and then you see her looking at her cards and just kind of I'm sorry, my dear. I didn't quite understand that. Yes. And you can see Fro. And she puts down a card, and he says, "How did you? That was. Oh my. Maybe you should be teaching me how to play this game, and not the other way around." And as you guys open and sort of look at this this odd encounter happening at this table, Thomas, oh yes, hello. I was just teaching Fro how to play this it's a really silly game, to be honest. And he picks up the cards on the table, and you see him go back into his box and put the cards back in there, and sort of turn around on the bench and say, so how did it go? And looking at all of you, cut, bloody, bruised. Oh,
Don't make me hurt you.
okay.
I immediately pick up whatever's in the carafe of wine, and I don't even decant it. I just fucking down that.
Yeah. So all of you down the wine, set Kareem on a small couch as he sort of lays down and kind of like rolls over. And you all take a moment, a breather. And before we go any further, we're going to take a quick break there.
Yay!
And
We
Yeah.
did it.
you did it. And
Cyrus did it.
Cyrus
Cyrus
did it.
so did it.
We weakened the pot, but Cyrus blasted her.
So feel free to use the restroom, do whatever, and we'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Snacks.
Yes, snacks,
Food.
yes. Food.
Glorious food.
Recording.
Yep.
And, wait, everybody's back, right? I thought I heard everybody talking.
I think everyone's here.
I think so.
Yep, I think.
Yep.
Is
Sarah?
Ellis here?
Yep, and... Yep, okay, so I did hear everybody then. Okay. Oh, man. Sorry, I got like a little toothache thing happening right now, and I don't know why.
Oh, that's worse.
Oh, no.
That is the worst.
Yeah. I was just eating some beef jerky muted, because I don't think anybody wants to listen to that. Yeah. Okay.
Guys, I'm really worried about the pork that some of you ate.
Well, jumping back in after fighting what one could assume now to be, and all of you have probably made this conclusion, was Mama C. You fought her, you killed her in an incredibly frustrating fight. You eventually, after beating her at her own game and breaking this cauldron that tied her to what coven she might have had when her other two sisters were still alive, you beat her and you sort of free this area of her grasp. You make your way back to you make your way back to the Colorful Cauldron Inn. You see Ji Feng leaving, and most of you assume that means that whatever balance or imbalance was here, thanks to your actions, has now been solved. You make your way back up to the room, and you can see Thomas and Fro, as Sinver is tied up on the other end of the room, playing a card game, and not like poker or anything like that, but like a trading card game that Thomas is trying to teach Fro how to play. And so they come in, and there's a small interaction between all of you until eventually you all sort of settle down around this small fire that's in this room, and there is still meat and fruit and cheese and wine here. You're not so sure about the meat anymore, but the fruit and cheese and vegetables and wine, as Cyrus has already taste tested for all of you, you know is fine. So all of you sit down. You have a moment to breathe. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna eat some of that ham. I don't care. It was delicious.
All right, you
God.
shave it off and toss them in. Salty
Mark,
pork.
you know that might not. It. Do you really trust that after everything we've seen?
This is ham. It's delicious.
Okay.
They had pigs. Douglas was. You honestly try this ham.
You do know what human meat tastes like, right? The cannibals that I have met in the past have told me that it tastes very similar to pork.
Have you met a lot of cannibals?
Just one.
I guess that's enough.
Criminal underbelly, you see shit.
I mean, I'm still eating the ham. Is it cannibalism? I'm not a human.
That's a good point.
Morgonix is gonna open her mouth, close it, do that a couple of times, and just make herself a plate of like fruit and cheese and bread and shit. And then she's gonna look over at Varnest and say, "How did you come to be there?"
Well, perhaps we could do names first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's been a rough day for all of us, it appears.
You could say that. I'm Morgonix. And I'll offer to like
Okay.
shake his hand.
Done so without hesitation. And the rest of you.
I'm Cyrus. Fancy some ham?
I'm alright, but thank you kindly.
Some wine?
That I will take you up on.
Alec is just kind of sitting on the floor by the table, not really on a couch or anything, and she's just kind of has her knees pulled up to her chest and sitting next to the dog Toglin. And she just looks over and she just says, Alec Silverfoot of Logan Silverfoot.
Yeah,
Again.
yes, we met.
And Sayla's a little guarded because she doesn't like that he seems like he wants to get to know them. So we just got rid of one annoying person.
So she doesn't answer.
Nope, doesn't answer.
That would be Sayla.
Usually this quiet.
If you're lucky.
Flips you off.
Well,
This is Thomas.
Yes, hello, yes, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. It seemed like a moment was happening there. Yes, Thomas Myanthes is my name, trader extraordinaire, and this is my good friend Fro. She is a bullywug, as she's told me. That was a joke. She doesn't tell me anything. I don't speak her language.
that was a good joke.
So you're the first person I think I've ever met who told me my jokes were good.
Pretty sure he was lying to you.
Oh, were you?
Of course not.
Oh, gee, he said he wasn't, so that means he wasn't. Thank you very much. Yeah. So anyway, Fro, as I was saying, he goes back to talking to Fro about this trading card game.
Before I go into everything that happened to me over the past week, may I ask what you all are doing?
Oh Christ, good question. What are we doing?
Right now, we're resting. We were just passing through and we got wrapped up in all of that business.
Wrapped up. You guys just wanted to get involved. I wanted to leave it.
This is fate. This is fate. It's a good omen. I mean, besides the fucking witch I burned, but it's a good omen. We've saved people here, It's a good day.
I believe killing a witch is plenty a good omen.
I hate all of you.
Oh no, that's nonsense. You love us, Lily. Have some wine, sailor.
Yeah, no.
More for me.
At least one of us needs to keep their wits.
At this point, I'm gonna speak up, and she'll just say, we're headed to New Efera. And on our way, we stopped here and encountered this, and it's been taken care of, so by morning, we will continue our way to New Efera.
To New Efera from New Verdalca.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Well, suppose it's only right that I tell you why I'm here, because believe me, it's a strange story. Can hardly believe it happened myself. And then, sorry, I have a quick question for Joe. I'm just gonna message you over Discord real quick.
Oh, yeah, sure. You know, over here, Thomas saying, so, yes, so what you need to do is you need to remember, like I said, you have to play your farm and resource cards first. And, well, I don't know. I'm explaining the rules to you. You know that. Yeah, you do. Mm-hmm. It's like a small little medallion.
Okay, cool. I figured, just wanted to double check before I just started spouting off nonsense. Well, as of a week ago, and he kind of reaches into his, like his doublet that he's wearing, he pulls out something, he sets it on the table. I was a member of the Golden Shields.
And Cyrus, that name clicks for you because when you had originally left Sunken City Bay and you had seen those banners and remembered Agatha Duradan's name, you couldn't exactly remember the name of her company, the name of her private military. But now you remember. It was the Golden Shields.
My eyes are gonna narrow.
Do any of the rest of us know what that is?
Let's see. Only Sayla would. Morganix wouldn't, because that's not exactly her circles, and Alec wouldn't because, well, Alec didn't know much aside from Congiato up until about 2 months ago. Sayla, though, you do know that the Golden Shields, on top of being a private military, they do also dip their hands into some real shady stuff. Where Malice actually had a few interactions with them when you were still in the Seraph. But other than that, you're not sure past that. I'd say that Cyrus, he's not trying to hide it, so I'd say you definitely notice that.
Okay, thank you.
Sayla's kind of joining in on the narrowed eyes. Oh, really now?
What? I'm gonna look between Varnus and Cyrus and Sayla and say, would somebody like to tell me what that means?
Let's just say they like to go and do things that you would definitely not like.
Oh, we've met them before. Sunken City Bay? That fucking catastrophe?
That entire...
Yours truly.
Oh.
Wait, when were you lot in Sunken City Bay?
None of your fucking business.
He kind of like looks to the others to see if they'll be more forthcoming.
Perhaps it's more prudent that you tell us when you were in Sunken City Bay.
Well, what was the exact amount of time, Joe?
It was probably about 2 weeks ago. It was hard when you lost a little bit of lost track of time a little bit.
I assumed my friend would have clued me in on like what day it was, though.
Yeah, here, let me get the exact date for you. You would have arrived in Sunken City Bay about let's see, that would have been about that's not a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, a week and a half ago.
And they know when that was for them as well.
Yeah, because about a week ago is when you guys had exited out of the tomb and discovered that it had been attacked maybe 4 or 5 days before. So that means that based off of when he said that he had arrived in Sunken City Bay, it lines up pretty closely to when it was attacked.
Okay. At this point, she's just kind of staring still, not really sure she completely understands what's happening. But she is gonna say, so your people make a habit of attacking and laying siege to cities then? Is that what you're here for?
Among other things.
First off, a pirate city is not a city. That is a hideout. Secondly, I was there under false pretenses. I've been a known provocateur of the Golden Shields. I've been very vocal that I do not approve of some of their methods, especially one Agatha Durandon. Never really liked her from what I heard of her. Her methods
fuck
were
her.
always... Yeah, fuck her. Anyways, I always found the kind of work that she was willing to do a bit repulsive. It was not the kind of work that I like to do. I was assigned to the naval unit, and I made it a habit of clearing the seas of pirates. When I was invited to Sunken City Bay, I was told that we were going to take the city and capture and kill all the pirates and rid them from this place, finally. That is not what they were there for. It's at least not why they took me.
Huh. I do have one question. Because
Just one. Go on.
to start with, because I have a good idea. I know what they were there for. Do you know us?
I knew your faces, but not before the attack.
Yes. The attack. Not the cleanest exit.
Well, I don't know what happened. When there was a signal we were waiting for to watch a section of the town go up in flames, and that's when we were to dock and attack from the other end. We docked, and I went to my assigned station to begin combat, as I was one of the breachers, and I found no one where I had been assigned, which immediately made me suspicious, and that was when Agatha confronted me, letting her know that she did not approve of what I had to say about her, and that she preferred loyalty over opinions. And she had two of my comrades slice my throat open.
I'm sorry. Rewind there, darling.
Mm-hmm.
Slice your throat?
At this point, Varnas reaches up and he takes that black and white cloth that was wrapped around his neck and he lowers it, and you see this like thick scarred piece of flesh that's healed over his neck, and it looks like it was not a clean cut, like it started from two different points and was finished in the center.
Oh, fuck me!
What a terrible job, Jesus. They can't even cut a throat right.
How are you here?
Excellent question. I don't have an answer for that.
Alec just blinks again.
What I can tell you is that everything went dark. As you know, I was dying, I believe. And when I woke up, I was in the middle of the jungle, and I saw this spirit, a being. I'm not sure quite what it was, but it held the form of a wolf, and when it came and approached me, I felt my energy and my strength return to me, and along with that, I saw each and every single one of you. And he says as he points around to the four of the party, not so much them as he points to the trading card people.
Joy.
You saw a wolf.
It
Are
was
you lying?
no.
Can I insight check him?
Yes, you may insight check him.
If I was lying, I think I'd come up with a better story.
He's, as far as you can tell, he's telling the truth. I mean, he's definitely a hardened man, but he seems honest.
So you saw a wolf, and you saw us?
Just flashes, images of your face. No names, no nothing, but I believe the gods saved me from dying, and if they saved me for a reason.
That
And since you all took the time to kill a hag and help rescue me, I doubt that my purpose is to destroy you. I assume it's to help you.
Is
Which
that
is
why
why
you
I'm-
wear that? And she's gonna point to the symbol on the tabard.
Well, along with my worship of them.
At that, Alec is just gonna like smirk.
Istitia and Acadia are who I serve.
And this time she'll be the one to narrow her eyes. I see. She looks like she's about to laugh, but she's holding in a laugh.
Well, I'm sure the whole thing seems like a large coincidence, perhaps a setup to those of you who still don't suspect me, but there is someone divine on your side. That there is no doubt. They wouldn't have sent me otherwise.
Joy. Religion. Just the thing I fucking love. You can take that shit and just shove it.
It's less religion and more belief. There is a distinction between the two.
I don't like either.
That does not surprise me.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Would I have an understanding of what's happening here? Does my question make? Can I be vague enough for you? Actually, I'm just gonna send you a message on Discord.
Okay. Do you hear? Okay. Yeah.
Actually,
You're in the same house.
Yeah. It's like you can just come talk to me.
why don't we
and
both
myself.
just mute each other
Yeah.
real quick? Well, earlier I muted myself and I sneezed, and I can hear my sneeze through his mic, and I'm like, oh man. So let's just both mute ourselves real quick.
This is where Alex TPKs us, by the way.
Yep. There can be only one wolf friend.
Oh
Alright.
shit.
Alright, sorry. I'm sorry, guys.
That was bad.
Did not mean to
Hilarious.
derail.
All right.
I mean, I thought what I thought, and I just, yeah, okay.
I thought what I thought.
Yeah, Alec has a very interesting look on her face right now. She's humored, but also skeptical, but also smirking. Take that with what you will.
All right.
Oh dear.
So, again, wait. So, what happened to you? Was that before or after we fucked your company up?
When did you fuck my company up?
Oh, me or us?
He just like kind of shrugs, like clearly not knowing what you're talking about.
Was it
I'm
before
going
or
to guess
after the?
before.
Was it before or after the giant lizard got released?
The what?
The dragon person whose name escapes
Zalax.
me. Thank you.
Well, I can't really say what else was going on in the city. I got there and within 20 minutes had my throat cut, so I didn't really notice anything else going on.
Before
It was a
then,
rough day.
you would have noticed had he been freed.
Then it must have been before.
I mean, out of character, he would have known. If he was there during that, he would know exactly what I
He
meant.
would.
As soon as I said, like,
Yeah, but he has no idea what you're talking about, so
Yeah, all
he
of
must
you
have been
now
there before.
layering the timelines together. It seems like he arrived when the city was first attacked, and then by the time he woke up, it seems like all of you were already gone from the city.
okay.
So,
I'm less suspicious.
your allegiance now lies with the old gods, am I right?
Oh, my allegiance was always with them. Just because they were my company didn't mean they had my allegiance. I just worked for them and they paid me. There were several jobs of theirs I rejected based on what the work was.
When you... Okay, a wolf came to you and you lived. After having that experience, where were you? What's the first thing you remember?
I was surrounded by jungle, and then I met a friendly gnome who helped escort me here. I mean, that's really it.
So they don't know you're here and that you're alive.
I don't know how I was saved. I'm going to assume they think I'm dead, but if they left my body somewhere and it vanished, I can't say what their current thought is on my condition.
Do I believe that?
Make an insight check. Once again, he seems pretty frank,
Cool.
pretty honest.
I'll be honest. There's not much of a city to wake up to. Shit's bad.
Hmm.
And I
mean-
continue to drink.
It depends on how you look at it. It's good for anyone trying to rise up a bit.
What are your intentions now?
Well, I am curious as to what your objective is, because I was pointed in your direction for a reason.
Alex at this point is just kind of like looking him over, like weighing something in her mind, and just kind of like staring in his direction.
Same, honestly.
No one fucking say a word. We've had that happen before and it bit us in the ass.
Our immediate objective...
Mechanics, I swear to God.
Not looking at anybody other than him, Alex is just gonna say, "My grandmother sent him to us."
You don't know that. Did she tell you that?
She did. And Alk will just like blank face look right at Sayla.
Okay, so... Our next task is a rescue mission without getting into anything else. Perhaps... And she's just going to kind of trail off and look at the others for any sort of backup. Not Sayla.
We are going to New Efera. That is all you need to know for now. If you wish to travel with us, you have my blessing to do so. If my grandmother deems you worthy of being amongst our company and worthy of the old gods, as you say you worship, then you may go into battle with us. But I cannot speak for everyone here.
Well, my word counts for nothing.
It's true, and I trust Alec.
That was so subtle.
I just start laughing and saying, I mean, the if you got there days later, I'd be saying otherwise, but I trust Alex's judgment.
And like with everything, I just have to go along with it. However, note, I can cut throats much cleaner than they could.
Noted.
Sailor Darling, are you sure you don't want some wine? I insist.
One of us needs to keep our wits.
Not me!
Well, do you have any other questions you'd like to ask of me, since there's still some uncertainty, it would seem?
Alec looks at Sayla.
I'm uncertain with everybody at this point.
What, where are you from? What city?
Well, I'm from West Salamander, from the court of Yggdrasil. Sorry, Yggdrasil.
Do I know anything about that place?
Actually, even without a history check, you would know quite a bit about them. They are the northernmost nation to Averion, and it's sort of like a like territories that serve one high jarl, but they are a nation of proving your worth, and they're very hardy, very honest people. They're definitely not a conniving, I'm gonna go behind your back and do this. It's like, I'm gonna tell you that I don't like you, and then I'm gonna challenge you to a fist fight, and then if I lose, well, then I guess you were right. That's the type of people that come from that nation.
Interesting. I say we take him. We can reevaluate after we've freed Alec's father.
Alec will just kind of flinch at you saying that.
I'm sorry.
I'm just. Why do I even say anything? Honestly.
I ask myself all the time.
Sayla, your words are valued.
That's a lie.
I don't lie.
Anyway.
Perhaps I should leave, so you all can make a decision without me being present. Speak freely, whatnot.
Oh, I speak freely anyway.
I believe that.
Sayla, if you do not trust anyone, how do you make it through this world?
By killing anyone that I fucking want.
But if you kill everyone, you will be alone.
And do you think that really bothers me?
I think it does.
Hmm.
And she just like blank face staring at you. Your words are valued. If you do not wish for him to come with us, he does not have to. But he would not be sent here if it wasn't for a reason. And because you are so concerned with caution, he would be a good addition to what we already have to offer. If we are to be a team, when we go into battle, when we go into somewhere new, we need to be covered on all forces. These are things my father told me, and perhaps we are not as strong as we could be.
You guys do whatever. I will follow along, I guess.
I mean, Sailor, we do care. We saved your life. We would have left you if we didn't care.
She does not like hearing that at all. So for like a split second, there's like something, but it's gone immediately, and she just scowls and just turns away and just goes to do her own thing.
My intent was not to cause any issues. For what that's worth.
I don't know that you're causing them. I think these are issues we face anyway. We don't know each other that well. We've had to rely on each other, and that hasn't always been easy for some of us more than others.
I mean, I trust me. I mean, I like you guys, but as you know, this is surely through pure coincidence and happen chance. But I truly I can say I trust you.
Sayla's just getting more uncomfortable. She didn't like this whole mushy stuff.
I trust you all as well, even Sayla.
I also trust Sayla. We don't like each other, but we need each other, and perhaps that's better. You did save me. You helped me. I didn't technically need it. I had a potion already,
I
which
didn't know this.
you can have it. I was going to offer it to you as a peace offering, but thank you. That meant something. And I'm gonna take my healing potion out of my bag and offer it to her.
She's gonna take it, but she's going to take this moment where it could have been something good and just use it to jab instead. Because
Okay.
she's self-destructive like that.
It's a grater.
Goodness. Don't think I did it because I fucking care or like you. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just saving you for fucking later.
Cheers, everyone!
I'm sure we're gonna get dragged into helping more innocent, quote-unquote, people. We're gonna put up with more bullshit just trying to help people almost die.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Yes, par for the course.
Why do you guys care? Why are you so hell-bent on helping these fucking meat sacks that walk around?
Because if everyone is out for themselves, if everyone lives like you, then this world is not worth living in. There are good people. We are a sum of our choices, and I want to make this place better. If I can do nothing else but make the world a better place for one person, then I have done something worth doing.
Sayla's gonna get up. She's gonna go out and get some air. She's irritated and frustrated.
Okay, you're able to move out from the stuffy interior full of incense and candles and fireplaces and move out onto the terrace and shut the doors behind you, looking out of the jungle and the butterfly garden, getting a little bit of air and a little bit of space from the rest of the party.
I mean, I can't help but feel like we had our guards down earlier, Varnast. I feel like if you were there, you had a chance. And again, I mean, the evidence is right there. I mean, no offense, the scar's fucking gross. But yeah, I mean that's not exactly a conflict of interest anymore.
No, there's not.
Sayla will come around. She won't be happy and she'll grumble the whole way, but
The truth is, I think we'd eat you, frankly.
I cannot blame someone for keeping their guard up, especially doing what it is you're doing. You have powerful enemies. So, I will work, and I will show my loyalty, and if that is still not enough for her, then that is on her.
I think that's the best we can do for now.
That said, I do think that for tonight at least, I should have a separate room if it bothers her that much.
This is the last room.
Oh, what?
That's what she said when we got here. She's gonna have to get used to it. Might as well be in a safe environment. We'll just take watches.
Do you know what? I mean, who's up for sneaking in Mama Z's room?
I was kind of thinking that actually, because she did promise us a reward.
Yeah, I want my reward, and like, that bitch is dead. So.
And if we can find, I have a feeling that Douglas's sister is gone, and I don't know how, I don't want to break that to him, but maybe we can find some evidence of people who were here before. I don't know.
Perhaps when sales cool down, we can check that out. I don't think it's wise to arouse suspicion to the tavern that we may have just murdered the landlady of the tavern.
No, I think we should be gone by the time they figure that out.
Yes.
If I might make a recommendation, I'm not sure how long you were planning on staying here, but I would keep it brief. As I said, you still have enemies in pursuit. You have no idea how close behind you they are.
I'll be honest. It's tough for choice to think who you could even meet at this point. We have upset quite a few people.
There's another conversation we need to have about that, but Sayla needs to be here for it.
In that case, I mean, what time is it now, Joe? Roughly? Is it just middle of the night?
Oh god, it's probably 3 a.m. at this point.
I say we check her room out, we get a few hours, and we get here as soon as the sun. We leave as soon as the sun rises.
I agree.
I third that. She might be cheered up by the idea of breaking and entering.
Definitely. 100%.
Should we go get her?
Yeah. I think so.
Through all this conversation, did we get a short rest?
Yes. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
have
Right.
so.
Well, actually, as soon as you guys head to sleep for the night, you will be level 4.
But we're not sleeping. We're
Yes.
But yeah, so you can go ahead and take a short rest now. Get your spell slots back. As you
I'm
care
gonna
so
be a
much.
total noob again. Short rest equal hit die, or no? Long rest
Yes.
equal hit die.
Yeah, it's hit die. Short rest, hit die, long rest, everything.
Cool. Okay.
I don't need the hit die thanks to Sayla's potion, but it's nice to have spells. The one advantage of being a warlock here. Let me have this.
When we got back to the tavern, Joe, did anything like seem out of place, or was everybody still like going on about their business? Like, obviously they didn't have any idea that was happening, but
They seemed happier, right?
Yeah, there was less there was less tenseness when you got back, and there are other workers here. You know, I mean, between
Yeah.
Douglas and some of the other barmaids and people working in the tavern. I mean, when Mama Z leaves, they tend to be the ones in charge until she gets back.
Okay, so the place isn't gonna like suffer without her.
No, they'll need to figure out who the new owner is, because she, you know.
I think you're looking at him. I'm just kidding.
Passive income, bitches.
I say we get Sailor and we check out that witch's room.
Yeah. I will cram a few grapes in my mouth and stand up.
I'll grab a couple slices of ham and say, "Yes, I know. It's very good."
I'm not. I'm. That. You do you. Whatever makes you happy. It's not hurting anybody. They're already dead.
We don't know for sure. Again, it's very. Did you try some earlier? It's very
No.
good.
No, I'm more for you.
Thomas,
Yes.
we're heading out, darling. Help yourself to the ham. It's quite good.
Oh yes, believe me, I've had a healthy filling already. I think if I eat any
That's
more,
my-
I'll burst.
There's my boy.
Stop it, don't you that. So, all right, Fro, this time I'm not going to help you at all when we play. It's up to you to figure out what cards you want to play and win, all right?
Before we leave the room, Alec is just gonna have set up her doggo to like watch Sinver. We'll have to explain the situation later.
Oh yeah,
because
we
didn't
do
even-
have a prisoner.
This dude just tied up in the back of the room. But Alec isn't even gonna say anything about it. She's just gonna like walk her doggo over there and give a couple of commands in Elvish and have him sit and watch.
I'll kind of go over the terrace balcony and say, "Knock knock, sailor."
What do you want?
Well, I thought you'd be happy to know, and we're quite interested. We're looting that bitch's room. I'm rather drunk, but I think it's a good idea.
She can't help but snicker and just kind of turn and be like, okay, I'm in.
Okay. So all of you are gonna head to try and find wherever Mama Z was staying here.
Yep.
Okay.
If we can't find her, I'll just talk to one of the barmaids.
Yeah, we
Whoever.
could just say,
Yeah.
we need to ask her a question. Can we go knock on her door?
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, you guys head up to the bar, and the main bartender who's there seems to be working the night shift. He says,
So, you said you needed to ask Mama Z a question?
Yes.
Oh, you're the ones doing the investigation on the...
Precisely.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's not in her room right now, but I guess I could just let you in and you can wait for her to get back. A lot of
We
nights
could
she
leave
likes
her a
to...
note.
Oh,
That works fine. We can leave her a note in there.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. That sounds all right to me. Here, let me get you. Let me get the keys real quick.
he grabs keys from underneath the bar top.
So, if you follow me, it's in this back corner right here. This is where the owner typically sleeps. Mama Z's never been one on interior decoration. She definitely likes to live a little bit more bare bones.
I believe that.
She likes to joke she has a vacation home out in the jungle where she sleeps. Silly woman.
He sticks a
Yes.
key into the hole and twink, unlocks it, pulls the key out.
All right, well, make yourself comfortable. I'm sure she'll be back later. She just likes to take
I
walks
think
around
she's
the
a bit of a
jungle.
night owl, that one.
Well, if you need anything, feel free to shout. I'm just a earshot away.
Thank you,
Thank you.
darling.
Of course.
He smiles at you as the five of you walk into the room, and goes back and whistles.
Once he's gone, she's gonna elbow Cyrus really hard for just like being way too on the nose.
I couldn't help myself. I mean, frankly, that's hilarious.
So, as you enter Mama Z's room, shutting the door,
And yes, shut the door.
shut the door behind you, you see a cot with a small felt blanket, a chair in the corner of the room, a small desk, and it has one candle on top of it that seems like it's never been lit.
All right, let's turn it over.
Perception checks?
Yeah, whoever is looking specifically, I mean, you know, you guys can go ahead and make investigation checks.
Yeah, Alika's just gonna be like resting up against the door. This isn't really her strong suit.
Okay.
Not that she expects anybody to just turn up, but this place is already strange as it is, so.
Okay. And then, Varnast, were you going with them?
Yeah, I have a passive 17 investigation for what that's worth. So I just walk in.
Yeah, so you walk in. You can go ahead and make your own investigation check, too, because
All right.
passively looking around, you know, you don't really
Sure.
see anything too intense.
Bam! Nailed it.
Um,
Proving my worth, one roll at a time.
you know, all of you open up the three drawers that are on the desk, and there is a small stack of paper, some ink and quill, and then in the third one, as you try to pull it open, it's locked. You can hear that rattle noise.
I just look back at Sayla.
Oh boy. I'll get to work on that.
All right, go ahead and make a thieves' tools check.
I swear, if this is invoices, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed.
So you pull open your set. You pull out the tools that you know specifically work best on small desk-type locks. Definitely not door or clasp locks. You need very small, fine tools to work this, and easy enough. It's nice to be in your element again, not fighting mythical creatures, just doing what you do well. And with a small tink, 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 just muscle memory for you, the lock falls loose, and the drawer kind of slides open a little bit, and you pull it open. You look inside, and there is only one item in here, and it is it almost looks like a headband, almost like a metallic like crown isn't the right word, but almost like it was maybe one day part of like a headdress or something. And right now it is just the metal circlet. That's the word. Yeah, thank you. It is a very simply made, but on the interior there are these like runes carved into it. The same ones that were carved into Baramici's blade.
Oh shit.
Well, hello there.
Can I read them?
Yes. You can. So, so generally with like your eyes of the what is it, the eyes of the packet keeper.
Something.
Yeah, whatever. I guess the name of
Eyes
it
of
doesn't
the
matter that
Runekeeper.
much. Runekeeper, yes, that's what it is. Reading the words here, it's a little harder for you because you sort of get the general gist, because these runes are almost like hieroglyphics more, where they're like small pictures, and you can kind of decipher what it means, as, you know, it's not like a one-for-one translation, with especially something like this. But it definitely does say something like a crown for the matriarch of a crown for the matriarch of the of the jungle. And there's a symbol there that you are just not getting, but it is seems like a crown.
Do I
For
get magic-y vibes off it?
kind of very passive magic-y vibes, but it definitely does seem more ceremonial.
I tell the others what it said.
Okay.
Does that ring any bells? Ring any vibes? Does it ring any vibes for me?
Kind of. So, like, you know that, um, um, these areas, here, the slumbering jungle, what it's been renamed to, there were natives who used to live here, but due to the colonization and some of the brutality that existed among those colonizers, those people sort of dispersed and they left. However, as you look at the ruins, they're very similar to your people. It seems like the people of the Congiato tropics, the cool water tropics, and the you recognize the word as the Coagiato, the warm water tropics. That was the name of this place before, and here I'll go ahead and before it was renamed the Slumbering Jungle, Coagiato, which is warm.
Ooh, thank you for that spelling.
Yes.
I was butchering it.
Which is the warm waters tropics.
Would I know why she would have this?
You can assume that same as how your tribes in Congiato would work, where you would have a there would be a patriarch and then the matriarch, and they would alternate.
Yeah.
This probably would have been, at least for the people of Coagiato, probably would have belonged to the matriarch. Typically, the patriarch has some type of, as I said earlier, some type of martial weapon. But you have a feeling that this might be maybe not a magical item, but something that a matriarch would wear to symbolize who they were to people. Because your people, they don't dress nicer or more regal. They dress like the rest of the people who live with them. So this crown would be the only signifying factor for a matriarch. And the patriarch's weapon would be their signifying factor.
Okay. As soon as you kind of like show us that, I like a wave of something kind of connects with Alec, and for a second she looks at Sayla, looks back at the circlet, and she just kind of gently will take it from you, Morganix, if that's okay.
Yep.
She's not gonna say anything. She's just gonna take it.
For her to become what she was when we met her out there, she went through something terrible. I said earlier we're the sum of our choices. This is the choice she made. She was consumed by her wrath and her anger. I don't think you make that choice. I think you let it empower you. No people is all good or all bad, but you're nothing like she was.
Alec just, she nods. And she says, thank you. Thank you. And she'll just tuck the circlet away for now.
Okay. And then, Alec.
Morgonix. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, Alec, that circlet is now in your items in the journal.
Thank you.
Morgonix is gonna check under the bed and between the frame and the mattress because this is crap.
So as you look underneath, and the rest of you kind of moving everything around, seeing if you can find anything else aside from this one item in here, you are able to sort of scanning underneath the floorboard and this part, Varnest, as you are sort of looking underneath there with Morgonix, the two of you eventually get to this one spot where you can feel there is a slight separation between two different sections of the flooring. And you assume that it might be similar to the slaughterhouse. And you jam something in between the crack and sort of pop it open. And as you move it out of the side, you see a very similar sort of crawl space where it seems like this one is definitely wider. You can walk through this one as opposed to crawling or dragging something. But you can see that before it drops down to the sort of hole that leads in the same direction as the slaughterhouse and probably of that tree, you can see there's like what almost look like mason jars sort of stacked up along the back end. And there are just collections of seemingly trinkets and parts that did not boil down in the stew.
Ugh.
So there are jars of teeth, jars of small bits of bone. There are trinkets in some of them, and some of them do have gold and silver and copper. It's just you kind of have to move certain bottles of teeth out of the way.
Nope, not going down there.
Yeah. I'm fine leaving these set piece down here.
Sayla, on the other hand, is just kind of like, what'd you guys find?
Oh, it's awful.
Leftovers.
Ooh, interesting. Anything I can sell? She's gonna go and rummage through it.
Yes.
So, Sayla, as you pop down, you do see the collection of teeth and bones and trinkets and coins. And so, going through the mason jars and collecting all of the wealth that is here, you would find about 245 gold pieces,
Damn.
Sweet.
150 silver, and 75 copper pieces.
How many silver again?
135, right? Yes.
And then how many copper? You said 75?
75, yeah.
While... Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But I'm also wondering if when we're done here, before we leave, we should leave this little cubby ajar and let the people of this place make their own assumptions and not think that we killed her or...
I agree, they deserve the truth.
We don't have to say it that way. They'll find out on their own and we can be gone.
Agreed.
It's a little heartless, but I think it might be the easiest. And we are on a time crunch.
You've already sacrificed enough by helping to slay the hag. You don't need the added weight of potentially being her murderer on top of it.
So I guess keeping in mind what Cyrus said, Morgonix is going to wince and climb down there to start trying to look for anything identifying.
Okay. So, knowing what you know about Elizabeth, Douglas's sister, and Kareem's son, um, you are able to, just sort of going through all of it, and say like you do find a couple of things that you might think are useful for the identification. Um, but on his pinky finger, um, Kareem was wearing a ring of what looks to be like black metal with a set ruby gem. You find a ring that matches that one in this,
I'll hand that up to Cyrus.
and in order to gain admission into that bardic college, typically you have to prove your renown in some way, shape, or form, and you're given a like a steel coin that has a symbol of a harp on it, and you do find one of those coins in here. In terms of anything else, you do find small bits and pieces of gemstones. They are cracked and rusted. They're not very valuable at all. Maybe to the right seller, this sort of like small bag of broken gemstones you could maybe sell for 15, 20 gold.
I suppose if there's anything that belonged to Douglas's sister, he'll recognize it. I'd like to think that she made it to New Efera, but if she pinned him as a suspect, then that makes me think she was trying to get rid of him too.
It's possible. I think we should leave it at this. We've done more than enough.
Agreed.
Is Kareem still sleeping in our penthouse?
Yes, he is.
Cool. I'll climb out of there.
Okay. So climb out of the hole, and then you said you guys were just going to leave it open, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, anything else in here, or heading back up to the penthouse suite?
I got my reward.
Yeah, I think Alec is ready to be out of this room.
Yeah.
Okay. So the five of you exit, and the barkeep says, "Oh, you're leaving a note, right? So I didn't see her come in, or else I would have told her that you all were waiting for her."
We left one. Thank you so much.
That's good. Well, if I see her, I'll make sure to let her know that all you had shown up. Did you guys? I mean, I hate to pry, and I know she told me not to talk about it at all, but do you guys think you found out who'd been killing all these people?
We found a very, very terrifying creature.
I think it's best you speak to Mama Z and hopefully later on tonight.
Oh, yeah, I guess she will. She should be coming here in the next couple hours to replace my shift, so... yeah. I guess that's good then. Well, I'll let you... You all look like you've had a rough night, so I'll let you get some sleep, and listen, I know the opinion of a lowly barkeep probably means very little to heroic types like yourself, willing to help out a common person, but me and a lot of the other people who work here, we really appreciate you doing this, shoot, I don't know. Sorry, I'm not very good at thank yous, but that's all I'm trying to say is thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your kindness. We hope things get better from here.
I think we all do. Well,
I'm confident they will. Thank you for your hospitality.
of course. Now, like I said, you all go get some sleep, and hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow night if you haven't left by then.
Good night.
Varnas just like awkwardly avoids eye contact because he never started this investigation with the group.
Alright. And he goes back to whistling on the counter. Oh, sorry, sir. Did you need a drink? Yeah, let me grab that for you. And he goes back to doing what he was doing. Just a happy-go-lucky man.
Once they're heading away, she's gonna be like, well, if she's supposed to replace him soon, I say we leave tonight.
Yes, I agree with that.
We need to see if Thomas is going with us or if he's going to secure passage from here. I was under the opinion we were going to part ways here, but he seems kind of cozy. What are we doing about that?
This is what happens when you help people constantly. Then you get little straggling puppy dogs.
He's a nice man.
He's
Perhaps
an
we could just-
annoyance and you know it.
Just
Dude,
ask him.
yeah, exactly. Thomas
Yes.
Thomas is a very nice man. I'd like to leave the decision to Thomas, frankly.
Yes, let's go talk to him. And there's a talk we should have, but we can wait until we're out of here, I suppose.
Okay. All of you head back upstairs. And you can see, opening the door, you can see Sinver is awake now, and he's just, like, staring so scared at the Doggelin. Just, all right, nice dog. Come on, don't look at the ham. Get the ham. And the Doggelin just gets closer and just... And he's like, okay, fine, don't eat the ham. Just please don't eat me. And then sees all you walking, and he's like, I mean, get out of my face, you stupid
Oh, please eat him.
Please
Oh,
don't.
please eat him.
And you can see Thomas and Fro playing their game, and he's like, oh, that was a really good move. Oh, don't mind him. He's been talking this entire time. The Doggelin has been keeping him distracted well enough. He keeps yelling at it, and it's really funny to see the Doggelin bark at him, and then I think he peed himself a little earlier. It was really funny. Wait, how did you... Oh, you dastardly devil. So you burned all of your crops to do... Oh, that is inappropriate of you, but that was such a good move. And
Alec will clear her throat.
oh, sorry, sometimes I just get a little absorbed into the game.
So, do we see our vampire daddy anywhere? Is he
he's
sleeping still?
Yeah, he's kind of curled up, and you see now that it's coasting around 5, 6 a.m. That range as it's starting to dawn, and as the sunlight is starting to peer through, you can see he's taken like a blanket, and it sort of like covers his entire body from the sunlight that's beginning to peer into the room.
I'll go over to him, even though he's covered. I'll kind of put a hand on his shoulder, and I'll place the ring in front of him.
Okay. And Sayla, as you close the window and the darkness sort of envelops, only leaving the campfire or the fire pit and the candles and incense that are burning for light, he sort of uncovers the blanket and takes the ring and sort of sits up. Thank you. I had hoped that it had not come to this, but I suppose. Yes. Well. Good. I'm glad to at least have closure.
I'm sorry it's come to this. I couldn't help but want to find this for you.
It is appreciated nonetheless. As I said, thank you. Yes.
Alec will kind of. She doesn't want to get too close because she doesn't. know how he would react to certain things, she says, but she will just kind of say, he has been returned to the mud, as my people say, and the old gods will take care of him now. You can rest easy, and you know that he is safe and at peace.
Thank you for your kind words. I hope he is as well.
Now you must go on living for him. Or
Well, the
on
issue is I
living.
cannot go on living for him.
He would not want you to be consumed the way his killer was.
Mm.
I am sure you are right.
We are leaving this place within the next few hours, if not sooner. Thank you for fighting alongside us.
Of course. Thank you for the ring, and thank you for helping me.
We would be happy to cross paths again.
I hope that we do not, as it seems, when we cross paths, I get scalded with sunlight.
Then I mean this in the kindest way, but I hope we never meet again.
Yes, I hope we never meet again, right? Listen, if you don't mind, I would at least like to stay here until the sun has gone down.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. No one will bother you up here. Though they are shortly, at some point in the next day, going to find out just exactly what she was, and this place may get rather chaotic.
That only makes sense.
But you should be safe in here for the day.
I will be sure to leave come nightfall.
Shit. Thomas, I'm not sure if you. Fuck. There's a lot we need to fill you in on in a very short amount of time.
Well, for we can pause the game just for a moment. It seems like this is important. I'm all ears.
Turns out, the woman that hired us to investigate the murders was the murderer. Looking back, not that surprising. Now, the problem we find ourselves at is, unless we leave here quickly, our new friend here informs us. I mean, we have potentially even more enemies on our tail. That is a bad thing for us. Now, the reason I'm concerned for yourself, Thomas, I've grown quite fond of you. You said you were going to secure passage here. Is that still what you're looking for, or would you feel safer coming with us?
Well,
Because shit could get wild here.
yes. Well, it's funny that you say that. For one, obviously, it makes sense now why all of you came back so battered and bruised, and bloodied, and upset, and sad, and angry, and a lot of other things. But I think that it would not be good for me to come with you because, well, if this is just another day for all of you, thankfully, you all saved me just a few days ago, and now you're fighting hags, things that for most of my life, I was told were just children's stories to get me to eat my vegetables and things like that, to go to bed on time. And, well, if that's the truth, then I don't think I really want to hang around that. But Fro and I were talking, and by Fro and I mean I was talking at Fro, and she was kind enough to nod and listen. But I had the idea that, well, I just admired how nice this place was, and well, I really loved the decor and the location, and I think it would be a really good spot to earn some money. And, well, frankly, I've been, this box you see here, that I've been safeguarding, it carries most of my wealth, and, well, all of my wealth, and my very carefully curated collection of kingdoms and castles cards. But what's more important is the wealth that's in there. And, well, I think that I think that I may have enough to talk the people who work here into purchasing the establishment and making a different name for it. Instead of a place where murders happen, I think that maybe it could, be something different. And I don't know exactly what the name would be right now, but Fro and I seem to be getting along quite well, and I know that it's probably not very safe for her to be around with you all. Same for me. So I was thinking, I don't know, maybe
I'm just gonna run up and hug him.
Oh, yes, thank you. And he kind of awkwardly, pats your back. He's not very used to hugs. He's like, oh, thank you. This is different for me.
And then I'm gonna go hug Fro.
Squeeze tight. Fro definitely understands more the concept of a hug and squeezes you back and says,
While she's hugging, Alec is kind of like, wait, what? And she kind of squats down next to Fro, and she's gonna say, Are you sure that this is what you want? You want this, yes? You're not just going along with it. You want to stay here.
Thomas. Good.
Thomas, good. Okay. Well, Fro, I will battle with you anytime. And Alec will give her a very good hug.
As you do, she kind of pulls out that dagger that was given to her earlier. She's like, she hugs you back.
Why is this so sad? Oh, I love
Oh
Fro.
my god.
Oh, baby.
I think it's a wonderful idea, but we'll miss you both.
I think this is a perfect fit for you, Thomas. Frankly, and Fro seems to adore you.
Yes, well, I adore her as well, and I think I have a name. All right, don't laugh. I've never been the most creative type, but what about the Leaping King? Because Fro's a frog, frog person.
Oh my god, yes!
And I could center it around kingdoms and castles, and maybe we could have tournaments or something like that. I don't know how many people actually play it, but maybe it's that new, instead of murders, it's a trading card game.
Yes, absolutely. Word to the wise. Don't look in the slaughterhouse. Smash that shit down. Get rid.
Oh, all right. I suppose that it is rather appalling to look at. I didn't like it.
It's worse. Trust me.
Yes.
Just get rid.
Oh, very well.
And Douglas is a good employee. You should trust him.
Douglas. Is he the one at the stables with the blonde
Yes.
hair? The teeth?
Yes, he's the keeper.
Very good. Okay, very well. Very well. Very good. Well, Fro, how does that sound? Does that sound like something that you think would sound fun? Running and owning a tavern together?
She kind of just shrugs and is like,
Take that as a yes. Well, so you all said that you're leaving, then?
I think it's for the best.
I think it's wise.
Yes, well, would you like me to break the news to them and...
We've
Let's
left.
not.
Yeah.
We've left some rather damning evidence in the previous landlord's room.
They'll find it. I think perhaps you should swoop in as a savior once they've started to sort it out for themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, very well then. I will...
Sleep in tomorrow. Have a bit of a lie-in.
Yes, I'll wait for the perfect moment, and then I'll swoop in like a savior.
it's kind of fun.
Is Sinver awake during this?
Yeah, he's kind of been. You guys have been tuning him out, but he's kind of been like, "Oh my fucking
All
god!"
right. I will go over and just punch him square in the mouth. If he has any teeth left, I'm gonna make sure
Oh my
he doesn't
God.
anymore.
And you punch him maybe 4 or 5 more times,
Oh,
and then
great.
eventually he's like,
Love
all
it.
the teeth just scatter all over the floor, and he's like, "What the fuck was that on the pad? What is the fucking bitch?" Oh, and he passes out.
Good. And she will, using the bedding, just kind of bind him a little easier and just kind of fireman Curie over her shoulder. And like, as if it's an everyday Tuesday, she's just gonna look at everyone and be like, "Are we ready to go?" Just like blood on her knuckles.
Yes. Let's take this little shit. We need to get Francois from the stables. I need to give this to Douglas. Yes. Let's get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Baby Foxweasel is typing.
Aw.
Nice. All right. S tier role playing. Okay, so
Important business.
uh, you all gather what supplies you have in the room, leaving Fro and Thomas.
Oh, I'm stealing wine.
Okay, so you,
Oh yeah, I'm grabbing like a loaf of bread and a block of cheese and just stuffing them in my bag.
Okay, so yeah, you stuff them in your bag, and Morgan, because I'd like you to roll a D100 for me real quick.
Oh sweet Jesus.
Uh-oh.
But I haven't done any. I don't need the bread.
No, you're good. You're good. I just want to see. Okay, so as you are jamming the stuff into your bag, you feel, as you're getting onto the left side of your bag and you're sort of jamming the bread like wrapped up in some cloth, you feel your knuckle sort of rub against something. And it's like, kind of feels like mold almost. And you sort of weren't paying attention as you were just jamming it in there. And as you look, you remember what feels like years ago. When that man grabbed into your bag, there was like this small bit of slime that was left. And it seems like it has grown and changed shape, and it's almost now the entire like bottom corner of your bag, and it's just moldy and just kind of has these little like almost like a like these little feelers almost that make it look like it's underwater.
I shriek and drop the bread and cheese and push the strap of the bag off my shoulder.
And as you throw it on the ground, some of the stuff sort of collapses and falls out, and kind of like some of the fruits and books, they roll away, and then you see the bag just moving a little bit kind of tugging in one direction and the other.
Dude, what?
The hell do you have in there?
Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Eldritch Blast!
Oh, so this part's not normal. All right.
So go ahead and roll for an attack for me.
Boop.
So with that, you discharge the Eldritch Blast. It slams into the bag. Go ahead and roll your damage.
+4.
12. And there is this splatter, like when you crunch a bug underneath your shoe. There's that crunch and then squish. And you can hear this this very high-pitched squeal as the bag stops moving.
Morgonix is looking down at this with like wide anime eyes of fear.
Can we not get just even the slightest break?
I'm gonna kneel down and carefully look inside the bag.
You look inside, and it's definitely not moving anymore. And it's no longer attached to that corner anymore. It seems to just be kind of like limp at the bottom of the bag. And it looks almost like maybe like a worm almost, but it's covered in this like moss and mold. And as you look at it for longer, you swear that it's just covered in eyes.
Nope. I'm gonna dump the bag.
And all of you can see this like slop onto the ground. This very tiny, tentacly eyed creature with like moss and antennas all over it, just kind of onto the ground.
Nope.
Unmoving.
Hmm.
Can Alex stab it just to be safe?
Yeah, you slam your great sword, cut it open, and there's another hiss, this something breaking loose.
I'm gonna dump the bag.
Okay.
Take the bag and that thing, and I am going to go dump it into the fire.
Okay. So you just kind of throw both things in the fire?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing just begins to squeal more. This
Ugh.
until it's nothing, just shriveled up blackness, and the bag takes a little bit longer, being made of leather, but eventually it does begin to burn and smolder and blacken until it's completely incinerated as well.
Yeah, we really can't just get a break.
What the fuck?
The thing, the with the book. When it was before we met you, it reached into my bag and it left all this slimy stuff, and I thought I got it out.
Apparently not. New bag. You need a new bag.
I do. I so do. And I'm just gonna go and like grab a sheet and wrap my stuff in it.
Like a hobo pack?
Yep. I'm just gonna wrap my shit up and throw it over my shoulder. I am so done right now.
Okay. Jam the stuff in there and pack it and try and get it as nicely as you can, but it's hard trying to pack stuff in a sack.
Yeah, I can repack it later. I'm past carrying at this point.
Jam it in there, wrap it up, sling it around your shoulder.
This is fine.
We need to get moving. Alex is gonna I don't think she has many things, but whatever she has, she's just gonna gather it up, gather her dogglin, give Fro one more hug, and get ready to head out.
Well, because Varnast already had all of his stuff on him because he did not unpack. While everyone else is getting their stuff ready, he's kind of gonna walk over to Alec and he's gonna go, "May I have a word by chance before we go?"
Sure. And she'll just, having all her stuff on, just kind of adjust and step to the side.
You don't have to answer, but this first part's just a curiosity. Why did they take your father?
She was somewhat abused by Fro because Fro just makes her happy. And so she had a smile back on her face, but as soon as you mention that, it just kind of drops away. She's like struggling to speak at this moment. Why does anybody take anybody? I've been asking myself this question since the day it happened. I did not know he was taken. I assumed he was killed when these people came to our home. I've only learned just recently that he was taken. How do you know this?
Your friend said it out loud while I was in the room.
Whoops.
Didn't she, or did I totally misconstrue?
No, I think she did. She did.
Okay, I was like, I thought someone said
No,
it.
fuck, I forgot to. That's okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Here I am to ruin everything.
You're fine. You're fine.
I was like, oh man, I just mess up.
No, you're fine. I forgot. Yeah. So, we are going to New Efera to get him back.
Well, I don't know any of you. I don't know your grandmother, or at least I didn't realize it was her. But for the sake of honesty, there is one thing I didn't mention about my story that I thought you should know. Along with seeing your images, there was a brief message. I didn't hear a voice. It was like I could see the words appear before me almost. It was a strange sensation. But they told me it was my duty to aid this group, that I was to protect the lost city, just as Baralo and the White Ravens did so many years ago. And I don't know what that means.
She kind of narrows her eyes and looks you over again. If what you're saying is true, and I'd like to assume that you are being truthful, I think that the old gods have something very special for you to do. I don't know what that is. I'm a little unsure as to why it is you who gets to carry this blessing, but you are important, and if that is your duty and if that is your message, then I will help you carry it through.
Well, allow me to help you save your father first. And then hopefully that will smash what little doubt remains.
Her jaw is like really clenched tight. I will see that the people who took my father are slaughtered in the streets. You have my word on that.
And then he'll walk away.
So, Alec, as you do say that last line, your dogglin in accordance with you, in agreement. However, before all of you exit and leave, Sayla, Fro does come up to you. And as you're about to walk out the door, she kind of interposes her small 3-foot-tall self in between you and the door. And she looks up at you and just kind of stares. These two large eyes on the side of her head blink up at you.
What do you want, Fro?
And you see she's trying to she's trying to think of a word. Kind of, how sometimes you can see that sometimes when Alec is trying to think of a word to say that's not exactly coming to her, just because it's not in her lexicon. But eventually she works a little more and she says, forgive. And she hugs your leg in a very similar way that she did, like I said, what feels like years ago. She steps away, and she just kind of brings up a hand to wave at you.
Sayla's very torn on what to do, and you actually can see the confliction there, which is really weird. She just nods and turns and just leaves quickly.
The rest of you can see Fro smile and then walk back to Thomas. And Thomas kind of places a hand on Fro's back, or more on her shoulder, and looks to all of you as you begin to leave. And he says, well, all of you please stay safe out there. I came from New Efera towards New Vidalka, and, well, the road can be dangerous, especially on this next stretch. I know that, well, frankly, the screaming weasels aren't really the issue. It's more so gnolls that cause quite a few issues. But considering what you were able to accomplish here, I'm sure you'll be fine. Just please, for me, be safe. As Thomas smiles, and you can see he has like confidence now. He didn't have it before, but he's like, his back is straight, his posture's good. Like, he's smiling, and it's not for any other reason because other than he feels happy. And all of you can see that. Well, good luck, and I hope to hear from you soon.
I expect free drinks at the Leaping King, Thomas.
Yes, the next time you come back here, free drinks for all of you, and you can even stay in the penthouse suite. On me.
Can't wait.
Good. All right, Fro. Well, it seems like we have some strategizing to do for our new business. Let's figure it out. And they sort of sit at the table, and he pulls out a little leather-bound book and an ink and quill, and he starts writing down ideas. And he's like, so for the menu, I was thinking maybe stay away from the ham this time around. Some people might have bad memories about it.
Oh, God.
And as all of you walk down the stairs, heading out, you eventually make your way down, and you can see now that it's maybe 6 a.m. The innkeep, or the barkeep down there, is yawning, and he's like, oh, are all y'all heading out so soon? I thought maybe you'd stay to hear what Mama Z had to say about everything that's been going on.
We
Unfortunately, we don't have time. We have business to attend to in other cities.
Yes,
I
of
mean,
course.
We didn't even really have time to stop over. This was purely a favor to her. But we need to be leaving, I'm afraid.
Oh, yeah, well, sorry. Well, here, you all are obviously on some important business right now, so please, go on, get out of my hair. I'm not asking, I'm telling. Stay safe, y'all, please.
You too. Goodbye. Good
And
luck.
he goes back to what he was doing. You exit, you head to the stables, and
Very smooth organics.
I say nothing. My bag just tried to eat me, okay?
head through the
You
shrubbery.
always have an excuse. Sorry, Joe.
No. Okay. Eventually, you make your way back to the stable, and you can see Douglas is still there, and he says, "Oh, hey, it's good to see y'all again. So, did you all ever figure? I didn't see you very much after last night. I hope everything went well."
Oh, no, it fucking didn't.
Oh,
Absolutely not.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you're... I mean, this is going to come out very shortly. I figured I'd tell you now. Mama Z bad, Mama Z dead.
Okay.
Now, This part is going to be a lot harder. And I don't know what this means, but you need to see this. And I hand him the coin.
Oh. No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Now, Douglas, she could still be in New Efera, and I truly, I swear to you, if we find her there, I will write to you here.
We will look for her.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, do y'all want your horses? And he puts the coin, tucks it away in his shirt. If you're all leaving, I'll get your horses.
We can take care of that ourselves.
No, it's okay. I'll be right back. And he goes and gets Francois, leads him out, and hooks Francois back up with the bit and bridle and hooks up the cart. Says, all right, he's been clean, he's been fed, he should be good for a little bit. I found out he really likes apples and does not like carrots at all, so... thank you.
I'm gonna just quietly give him 5 gold pieces. Just take care of yourself, okay?
Listen, I get enough gold from what I do here. I don't need this as some type of pity for my sister. Honestly, I don't want your gold. And he kind of pushes it back at you, and he's like, "Listen, just if you're gonna leave, just leave. All right, thank you for what you did, but just go." And he just kind of storms off into the stable, and you can hear a few things just sort of clatter and slam down on the ground as he just sort of says, "Fuck, God, fuck." And you can just kind of hear him yelling, slamming things around from inside the stable. So all of you mount up. Anything else, or are you just heading out?
Alec is just gonna say that some people grieve in different ways, and then she's just gonna lead the horse out so they can get on the road.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it worse.
Nothing you said was going to make it better. Don't blame yourself.
When we go past, I'm not even going to look in the direction of that butterfly garden. I don't care if it's empty. I don't want to look near it.
Nope.
So all of you ride the cart through the cobbled stone streets that exist here, connecting the storage rooms, the butterfly garden, and the inn itself. And eventually, you make your way northward towards New Efera. Eventually, you ride for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. You're a safe distance away, and at about this point, all of you can feel that exhaustion begin to set in, and you feel like if you don't rest soon, everybody will be being so much exhausted, so much so that it might not be good.
Can we try to find a spot off-road where we might blend in a little?
Or we could take it in turns.
Oh, I think we need to do that anyway, but...
Yeah,
It'd
go
be
ahead.
easier to keep oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, whoever is trying to find the area specifically, I'd like them to go ahead and make a survival check.
Oh dear.
I'll do it.
Okay. Oh, sorry, survival check.
Oh, whoops. Not as good, but hey, there we
Oh,
go.
yeah. So you're sort of
Classic.
surveying around, trying to find what would be best, but it seems like this narrow stretch of road, which has been much more narrow than the road behind you, you just kind of feel, oh god, let's get that out of there. Ooh, all right. There you go. That's better. Moving around, you can see that there's just nothing that really catches your eye as a safe spot. I mean, there are places directly off the road that seems like it's meant for people to camp, but there's nothing off-road, hidden away, that would be extra safe. You can really only spot the places that it seems like most people traveling up and down this road rest at.
I'm not seeing any spot better than the others, I'm afraid.
Perhaps it would be best if we put as much distance between the cauldron and us. We can rest in shifts and just keep driving through the night.
It seems as good an idea as any.
Should probably have 2 awake at one time just to be safe.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
Yeah, she got herself kidnapped when she tried to take watch by herself once.
Oh. Well, at least you learned from your mistakes, right?
We've learned from our mistakes. I got
with someone
darted
else
with an
taken.
arrow. It was a dart. I didn't fucking do shit. I was good, damn it.
Anyway.
Alrighty.
I'll volunteer for first watch.
I'll stay up with him.
Okay, and then second watch is...
I can go second.
And...
I don't mind.
Alright, so that
Yeah,
means...
fuck all of you. Sailor's gonna sleep.
Yeah, I'll take second then.
Okay. So you pull off to the side of the road, you set up your tents and your camp.
No, I think we're just going. Like, we're traveling through the night, but just, like, sleeping in shifts.
Like sleeping in the back of the car.
Oh,
almost.
Yeah.
sleeping in...
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Gonna have to get a little snuggly.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you're definitely... Yeah, okay. Alright, I see what you're saying here. Alright, let me...
I think Cyrus is gonna have to sleep between Sayla and me.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are definitely getting pretty cuddly.
Don't touch me, I swear I'll kill you.
Alrighty. As the Doggelin sort of walks along the side of the cart next to you, Alec, the three head to sleep, and it's not the most comfortable, it is fulfilling sleep. As you begin to make your way, the and the creaking of the cart. For some of you, it's a little bit harder to fall asleep, especially after being tantalized by soft feather beds, and now having to sleep in the back of a moving cart. Some of you were a little upset, but the three of you in the back, you are able to fall asleep and get that full rest. Alec and Varnast, I'd like both of you to make a perception check for your watch as you're sort of riding along.
See if I can do better this time. Woohoo!
Alrighty, so the two of you, you are like hawks, staying awake the entire time. There is no nodding for either one of you as you stay awake for the 8 hours necessary. However, after your perception checks, you do start to feel that first bit of exhaustion happen, where you stay awake out of pure necessity, but you really, really want to sleep. But you stay awake, you know it's at risk here. As you've learned, these roads are much more dangerous than what is let on. However, all of you are well equipped, and over the course of your watch, you don't see anything, you don't hear anything that would be immediately alarming to either of you. So, your watch does last that first 8 hour chunk. Is there anything that you two wanted to talk about in that 8 hours?
Unless he poses a question, I think Alec is very just deep in thought tonight.
Varnast is wise enough, he'd probably pick up on it and just let her go. He probably wouldn't bring anything up.
Okay. So the two of you sit, doing your duty that you know you have to, keeping your eyes peeled and being focused. No time for small talk. You have obligations to keep everyone safe right now. Those 8 hours pass, and seemingly without issue, where you are fine. You pull the cart off a little bit just to wake everybody up, and wake up Morganix and Cyrus, And Alec and Varnesh, you're able to sleep in the back of the cart with Selah. So we'll go ahead and tuck you all in there, snug as a bug in a rug. And Organics and Cyrus, you guys take up the front. And the dog will also be in the back of the cart, snuggling up with Alec.
Oh God.
It is a,
And the fox weasel.
yes, it is.
Yeah, my fox weasel.
It is a cramped as hell back seat. Much better. All right.
Oh, I love it.
There we go. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, more Organics and Cyrus, I'd like each one of you to make a perception check. Now on hours 8 through 14. Okay.
And this is a long rest, correct?
Yes, this is a long rest.
Yeah, so full health.
Yes. So making really, really good time. You get through it just moseying along. You can tell that the horse is very, very well rested, very happy, just kind of moving along. And initially, neither one of you hear anything right off the bat. Is there anything that the two of you wanted to talk about?
I think I'd just be making stupid small talk, as I
Yeah.
typically do.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So the two of you just kind of idly, you try not to talk about anything too deep, just, oh man, it's kind of crazy how much the jungle grows, right? Ha 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 ha. And just kind of aimlessly laughing, just trying to make the other person feel better in this tense, frankly kind of terrible situation. You know that you're maybe, especially after all of this travel, maybe only another 8 to 16 hours, a day or two of travel away from All's Crossing. And as you reach the end of that 15, 16 hour mark of 2 straight days of travel, you can start to hear Morganix and Cyrus. You can start to hear yep.
Shit.
Can I determine what direction it's coming from?
Yeah, Cyrus, you can hear it coming from what seems to be like a southeast, but then Morganix, you can hear it coming from a northwest. And then Cyrus, you pick up on the northwest, and then you hear it coming from just your west, and then just northeast, and you can hear these yips and cackles and snaps coming from each and every direction, just one after the other. Just this chittering, and it is unsettling to say the least, and it starts to get louder and louder and louder until, your horse even is starting to sort of shake its head and start to whinny as it starts to slow down and stop a little bit, as it's even starting to get a little uncomfortable with the situation. What do you guys want to do? Being the only two awake in this current moment.
Go wake the others.
Yeah, instantly. Yeah.
Yep. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. We're surrounded.
Surrounded. Seriously.
Seriously.
Alec wakes up with her sword already in her
my
hand.
God.
So you
All right then.
draw the sword, all of you sort of standing, looking around, and you can hear those yips and chatters.
I'm throwing fire at the first thing I see come out.
Okay, so
Same with an Eldritch Blast.
Okay,
And
so
an arrow.
all of you get those things ready, sitting in your cart, and you can just hear the crack of wood and the brushing of vines and leaves next to you. You can hear all of that moving, and just as you can see the leaves begin to part, you see the same thing that all of you had seen, those gnoll creatures, but bone is almost entirely what they're made of. There's some skin and flesh that's left, but other than that, it's just bone. And in a visage that is all too familiar
Oh, fuck me.
Nope. Nope.
to
nope,
four
nope,
of you, you hear a crackle of energy in front of you, purple.
Eldritch Blast.
And stepping out as soon as you fire off the Eldritch Blast is the man that all of you only know as the Warlock. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end tonight's session.
Ooh.
Fuck.
Well, shit.
So yeah, let's
Uh,
oh yeah. What a twist.
I thought it was gonna be Charles.
Oh shit, Charles is with the Knowles.
That
know,
would
man.
be awful.
Yikes.
So wait, did Alec and Varnas get their long rest or no?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Level up.
And
Level
all of
up.
Yay!
Are now level 4.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Oh, let's
that's
see if
such
I
a
can
hard
remember
choice.
how to do this.
No sound.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you go on the cogwheel on your character sheet and do launch level plus character mancer. If you're doing it through that way.
Ready there?
Oh,
What
that's
happened?
the
Yes.
smart way.
Whoa.
You're there.
Oh no, did you miss that?
I missed it.
No.
Sound cut out.
Oh,
Everything just
shit.
went quiet except for the ambience,
Oh,
and I'm like,
no.
no. What happened?
So the gnolls approached, and they began to sort of break through the jungle all around you, and you could see that there were the gnoll witherlings, the sort of almost like undead gnolls.
Yeah, I seen that part.
And then coming out from the portal that sort of appeared in front of you was that man who from the three of you stole the key, and then from Morganix and Al stole the book.
Nice. Nice.
Yes. Good old dark guy mustache. Who is...
Oh wait. Do you have to roll for HP after a long rest? I thought you just got it.
We leveled.
Oh, you leveled up. That was the other more important thing.
Oh, right.
Yes, you are all now level 4. Congratulations. Welcome.
I get a new cantrip.
Ooh.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, there it is.
Yep, launch level
Launch
plus
level.
Charactermancer.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What is the average for barbarian? Is it just 6? I feel like that's not right.
No. It should be 7.
Oh, okay, because I rolled a 7. That's fine.
What?
Because like my thing is like being kind of weird. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I apologize. Well, that rolled an 11. That's weird. It's 12. Okay, all right. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not gonna take the 11. I'm gonna take the 7. I was just clicking things. I apologize.
No, you're good. Yeah, I think 7 is the average. Yeah, because it's half plus 1. Half
Okay, yeah.
rounded up.
Okay, cool.
Or half, yeah.
Because
plus
right
1.
now it's like being weird. I'm gonna put it in like.
Oof.
This. Yeah, we have shit rolls today. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean...
Am I allowed to? Can I roll again?
typically what I do is if you roll below the average, just take the average. Just because...
What is the average? 5?
Yeah, so take 5 instead. Just because it's like...
Okay.
Having low hit points doesn't make the
It just
game
feels
more
bad.
fun. Yeah, it's not like it doesn't feel good either. Because when you roll a 12, you're like, oh, I'm fucking the best. And when you roll a 2, you're like, fuck.
Despair.
This feels
Absolute despair.
God. What? Oh,
So
After
we
all
can't
that
take-
shit I talk, now I'm like, oh my god, do I want an ability scoring